Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Up, 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 up. I do that so I can talk about you guys behind your back. I do that. I'm sorry. I forgot I was mute. So welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. I am Bullhorn Betty. We are the loudest channel on the streets of YouTube. Today is channeled day 23. Day 23 of being on this shadow banning, which allegedly only lasts for about 30 days or so. But we're on day 23 of shadow banning for talking. I don't know if I get hit every single time or if this extends every time. I don't care. YouTube, all these other platforms that think they can do social media, this is my description today. I am on full attack. We are at war with social media right now over our First Amendment rights, and I'm going to keep going down this. Every single day that I am shadow banned, I'm going to notate that on my platform, on Twitter, because there is going to be a day when we're going to hold these social media oligarchs accountable for what they are doing in silencing and thwarting our Constitution and removing our First Amendment when we're not threatening people. We're just having conversations about something that they don't like. I think Charlie Kirk is a great man. Obviously, YouTube and other social media don't. They think he should be dead. Congratulations, YouTube. You are a piece of shit. So in everything, I've put this in my, so this is going to be posted on every single live we do from this channel. So if we're going to be shadow banned, well, we're going to be building our channel on being shadow banned, and that will build our channel because it's called algorithms. And if anybody can fuck with an algorithm, it will be Bullhorn Betty. I know how to do it. So now, everything from this channel is going to say, screw YouTube and its political silencing of content creators. You are by far the most un-American asshats, along with all other anti-American social media company. I wage war against censorship. Hashtag Charlie Kirk, hashtag YouTube, hashtag censorship, hashtag politics, hashtag FU. So that is you guys know I'm a political activist. You will not silence Bullhorn Betty's voice. If you do, we will come back. I'll circle back to you. It might take 5 or 10 years, but we're going to circle back to social media. Social media will pay. They will financially pay for what they have done here in America. I can almost guarantee that. And I can almost guarantee whatever company decides to take this, class action lawsuit, I guarantee is going to make a buku amount of bucks, because I truly believe it will be the most epic payout in American history once we get people on board and start suing these social media companies that are now the public square for censorship and constitutional issues. I do believe it will happen. I believe it's going to happen in the next 5 years. That is my belief here on these streets. So you heard it here first on the Bullhorn Betty channel, while we are being censored on this very platform for political purposes. I think Charlie Kirk is a wonderful man. I'm sorry he was assassinated. I'm sorry that we have these social media oligarchs in our country that would love to see people like me with bullets in my head and neck. But again, there you go, YouTube. There you go. We will build our channel on these constraints. You will not silence me. And when I do get back up and running, we are going to make sure that we bring up the censorship of social media again and 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 again until our government starts understanding it, until our main corporations out there, our law firms that do these class actions, get on board. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep researching laws. And once we do, we're going to come after social media, and we are going to burn the house literally down. We're going to pay as many American people out of what social media is doing. And YouTube, shame on you for what you have done to America. Shame on you. And if you want America to respect you, you better start respecting America. And that is my statement. We will continue to go through all of this, and I'm going to continue to lose money. So if you guys would like to participate in helping raise money, we're trying to do some different things here on this platform during this, but I'm going to continue to push back. And you know damn well that that's in my blood and DNA to push back. You will not silence Bullhorn Betty over ridiculous bullshit. And when we do go to sue them, if we find out that these are other channels doing this, I guarantee you're going to end up losing your channel. Your channels, right? Because there are multiple. We know at least a Blank Screen, a racist black guy that likes to stalk white women. He has about 1,000 different accounts, and I can't wait until social media gets a hold of all those accounts and bans him from these platforms. Eventually, you know, it does catch up with you. And so it just takes a little time. I mean, this stuff is not easy, and you know, you're talking about millions and billions of people, and you're talking about getting a lot of people moving in the right direction. It takes time to get that to happen. It takes time to advocate and move the wind. But I wanted to start out with the show on that because I think it's important. I'm going to be clipping this, and I'm going to be putting this out, and I hope that other people clip this. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Uncensor me. Uncensor me. If you don't, we're just going to keep going to other platforms. You're not going to silence Bullhorn Betty. Okay? And I'm sorry you don't like the fact that the Democrat Party sucks. Okay? And they like to see us dead. That's not me, right? Censoring me is not going to change those facts. Sorry, not sorry. All right, guys, let's get on with why we are here. Why we are here. So we've been covering the cases of Kada Scott, which is a 23-year-old, beautiful, well put together woman that had a great life ahead of her. She is, or was, because she's deceased now, she was a bright star in her family. Her family and friends loved her. It sounds like she was a great, I'm sure just like any other 20-something, right? They go through their phases. So I'm not going to say she was an angel to her parents, right? I'm sure she was just like any normal child to a parent. She was a great young child, you know, baby, adolescent, but then you get to the puberty stage and probably get a little wonky like every other teenage child, right? So it still sounds like the parents kept her on the right path. Sounds like she stayed on the right path. It sounds like there were some shenanigans going on in the area she lived, but from everything I could learn, she would never got into the shenanigans. One thing we did learn is that Keon was asking about her. Remember, I thought Keon knew her. And I'm not sure if that's the case, because here's what we're learning about Kada Scott's case. So there was another girl in the area, and it sounds like Keon King reached out to this other girl and said, you know, do you know who Kada is? And apparently this other girl was friends with Kada's younger sister. And so she knew of her, but didn't hang out with her, didn't really know her, you know, just knew her sister, hung out with her sister, may have been friends with her sister, but didn't really have a lot to do with her friend's older sister, Kada. But knew of her, right? Knew of her, knew she was probably, you know, in college, doing well, in pageants. You know, it's hard to mistake in her natural beauty. She's a very beautiful woman. And so Keon King had reached out to this other girl and was asking about Kada. Now, did somebody give this guy, Keon King, her phone number? Is that how this all started? Because this sounds like days before he was asking this one girl about Kada, and she never thought about it again. And then all of a sudden she's missing. Then it reminds her about Kada, you know, this conversation this one girl had with Keon King. And it sounds like maybe somebody did know who Kada was and gave him her number. I don't know if they were in a relationship. And he may have just called her out of the blue and said, hey, you know, and she's like, you know, no, I've heard about you. You know, I'm not really kind of down with your lifestyle, but I really appreciate you calling me. But I'd love to hang out, maybe have some coffee, right? We don't know. We don't know what the case may be. But what we do know is that they were having conversations on the phone. To what extent? There for a while, because of the other one, I started thinking maybe they had a relationship. People knew Keon King. It was bad news, in my opinion. I think so too, because like this one person was saying, is he's the pharmacy, which basically means he's the dealer, right? So they knew of him, and she probably did too. And she probably knew, and it sounds like he might be. Was he a little younger than her? How old is Keon King? I don't know if I remember how old he was. Was he like 19, 20? She's 23. So I think he was younger. I think he was kind of in her sister's age. But, he's a dealer. He wants what he wants when he wants it. And the hell with anybody to turn him down, right? Well, that's a problem, right? Some people turn you down. They don't care that you're a dealer. They don't care what your street cred is, right? Because they ain't in the streets. And it doesn't sound like Kada was in the streets. It doesn't sound like Kada was in the streets. So we had talked about, when they got to this abandoned building, we kind of talked about early on that this is a prime area. This would be an area that I would think would be perfect for hiding a body, perfect for whatever you needed to do with the person. And we went into a conversation about the abandoned buildings and about my suggestion for these abandoned buildings, right? The stuff that YouTube here, because they're mad because I'm having political commentary and they don't want me having conservative political commentary on their platform. I bet you if I told you I hated Charlie Kirk or hated President Donald Trump, I bet you anything I wouldn't be shadow banned right now. That's how sick these oligarchs on social media are. But I digress, right? We were talking about real life, real world issues, and it was about what do you do with abandoned buildings in your community, right? In your community. And when I said I hate Trump, my freaking thing went up 15 people. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I hate this. I hate social media. One day I might end up going on Rumble. I think I might set up a channel on Rumble. Rumble, it doesn't pay as good as YouTube, but not to be with YouTube, a freaking socialist, we want people that hate everybody company. I can't stand it. Anyways, I digress. They pay the bills. Watch yourself, Betty. Watch yourself. No, I'll go on any other. I'm over it. I'm not going to kowtow. I don't kowtow to my audience, and I'm not going to kowtow to social media. Social media can kiss my ass. Bullhorn Betty is bigger than social media. I'm sorry, I'm just am. And you might say, oh my God, Betty, that's so arrogant of you. You're so conceited. Yes, I am. Because I know that I have a core following of people. I could set up a freaking site tomorrow on GoDaddy and have everybody go over there and screw these platforms, right? They wouldn't pay as good, but you know what? By working hard, doing different things, I'd get it up there. You're not going to stop Betty. I'm too passionate. Okay? If I want to talk about politics, damn it, I'm going to talk about politics. If it upsets social media, oh well. This is the Bullhorn Betty channel, not the YouTube channel. Okay? Just saying, YouTube. Just saying. Anyways, I do believe that he's bad news, but you know what? We did discuss real life and real world issues with these abandoned buildings. At the end of the day, why do they have so many abandoned buildings in Philadelphia? Especially with the level of homeless that they have. The homeless population over in Philadelphia is pretty high. Maybe not necessarily in this area, but this would be a great place to turn some of these schools into homeless shelters or homes for the homeless military. We have a lot of homeless vets on the road that suffer from alcohol abuse and mental illness that were never taken care of when they got out of the military. You got to understand, our military sent these people off to war, completely screwed up their brains, sent them back over here to the United States and said, oh, well, you're on your own. That's not how we treat our military. Our military has a lot of internal scars by some of the stuff they were required to do as our military, okay? Military is not pretty. Everybody thinks it's just a way people go in there and say, hoorah, right? And they get a retirement and they live on. No, they actually have to go to war. They have to go fight. They have to go when there's national disasters all over this world. They've got to go find those people in that rubble. The things that our military sees around this country is something to make people go batshit crazy. And then they send them over here without any resources and say, good luck. Some of them turn to substances. Some of them turn to alcohol. And some of them turn to just doing overall bad stuff to their body, eating, just having a hole in their stomach that no matter how much food they put in there just never fills that hole. There's a lot of complications that come from people overseas that went to war on our behalf to keep us safe. And all of these abandoned buildings and abandoned schools that already have showers and other things that could be utilized and make, smaller little one bedroom or studio type of apartments with some of those classrooms and stuff like, it's just an easy conversion, right? If the roof's not falling in and it's just that the place is outdated, do a public-private partnership with a nonprofit and turn that into something that would truly benefit your community. Make it a place for to get some resources if the people are in substance abuse. So I know that not too many people talk about this, but I find it very interesting that now calls are growing to tear down the abandoned school where Scott's body was found, and I agree with it. However, prior to this, they could have done more. This didn't have to be a place that was abandoned and left for somebody to be buried and die. It just didn't have to be that way. It just didn't have to be that way. If anybody's coming in and you want to know what is going on with my account, I have been shadow banned. I have talked to creative support. I talked to them when you guys started seeing this stuff go off is because I talked to them yesterday. And they basically told me where my what caused the problems on my channel, and the numbers and the videos that they referenced to me on creative support was Charlie Kirk. And I said, so you're punishing me for running political commentary? And they're like, oh, no, ma'am, we're not punishing you for running political commentary. It's just that you had a lot of new people come to your account when you ran these two stories. And now all of the sudden, they're not coming back. And it's like, well, not everybody on my channel likes, and not only that, I ran as many crazy, batshit crazy people off my channel as possible, right? And so we had a lot of new support come from this channel. We're losing some right now because we're not staying with the political commentary, and they're here for the political side of things. But at the end of the day, it was over my Charlie Kirk coverage. It was over my Charlie Kirk coverage. Not one thing was related to our true crime stuff. So they basically said that until I'm out of this period, they're not going to be sent, because according to the algorithm, it's showing that I'm doing something wrong here. That I'm doing something wrong on my channel because I covered Charlie Kirk. I think they're freaking. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. I hate it so much. Like, I want to be off this platform. I don't want another fucking penny from Google or YouTube if that's the way they want to do it. I think it's so freaking anti-American. They make me sick. So I've got to try to figure something out, because at the end of the day, I'm a protester and I do what's right all the time. Not what's convenient for me. Even if it costs me a lot of fucking money, I'm going to do what's right, and what they're doing is wrong. And I'm going to stand on this platform, their platform, and tell people it's wrong. Screw YouTube and their political censorship. Something has got to be done, and trust me, I am doing everything behind the scenes I can for the politicians to stand up and get a backbone and do something with this crap. Something's going to give. I promise you that. We've got some big names bitching about this very same thing. Not just, even just in the nick of time, Justin on TikTok. He's censored on TikTok for running Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm more biased. Like, I'll tell you my opinion. I don't just run stories, right? I'm very opinionated. Justin, on the other hand, he doesn't, even though he's very opinionated, believe that, but he doesn't bring it to his, because he doesn't want people not show, it's a click and a view thing for him. For me, I don't care. It's an activism thing. It's always been an activism thing for me on this platform. People want to come for the ride, come for the ride. But if you don't want to, I'm still going to do me. whether it's offensive or not. I don't care. You know? I don't care. And at the end of the day, fuck YouTube. Censor that, bitch. And I'm going to keep saying that every freaking channel until my algorithm picks up my disdain for YouTube. I'm building my own algorithm. I'm building my old algorithm right now with YouTube. How do you like me now? Making sure it says politics, Charlie Kirk. I'm going to build the hashtags, baby. Watch me work. I know social media better than anybody. You can only silence me for so long, and then I come back bigger and badder. And wait until I start traveling this country and getting with politicians. Wait until I start working again. Wait until I'm able to start working again. There's going to be hell to pay from a lot of people. I can tell you that. We're taking no prisoners. No prisoners, damn it. Once again, and this goes right to this guy, okay? Because, you know, I've been saying nice things about this guy because I like people that take accountability. We don't get accountability. We don't get accountability in social media either. But we damn sure don't get accountability in, you know, law enforcement or DAs, right? It is what it is. It's always the judge's fault. You know, they always pass the buck. They always pass the buck. They always pass the buck. And so this guy says, the buck stops here. I'm going to take ownership of it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I like that. I like that. You know, we don't get that very often. But I think the damage is done out here in Philly. I think they're pissed because this man should have been behind bars. They're having to bury their loved one before Christmas because this community failed this woman. And this guy here, this guy here is saying that the buck stops here. But then when he was actually challenged, he shuts down the press conference. And I'm like, I don't know about that. You know, if the buck stops here, you should be able to stand on that podium and take it like a man or a woman. Maybe we should start changing that, saying take it like a woman. But we take a lot of bullshit, I will tell you that. Sure do. So in this particular town hall article, they're really kind of bringing the sledgehammer down on this alleged tough on crime, what they consider bull crap, right? Bull. Oh, you know, I just realized we could even use this for like the heart monitor, like, right? That sounds like a few political careers, if you ask me. Just saying. All right, so once again, apparently he must be a Democrat. I mean, again, I don't really care what you are, you know. I care whether Morse code. Watch somebody say, Betty, you just told everybody to go F themselves. Like, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Right? I don't know Morse code. So if somebody out there is like, what in the... Betty, do you know what you just gave the call? What, do we have a red light special over on your house? I don't know. But I think everybody, and this is not to be disrespectful, listen, this is what I found out. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know I got some Democrats here that probably hiding in the bushes. I love you guys. I love people. You guys know I love people. I can't handle what's going on in this country, and I'm going to put my foot down. But I did find out this because I was talking to some of my people, okay? My people aren't, the people on the Democrat, they're not down with all this shit, okay? I didn't know that. I just thought the Democrat people, like all of our beautifully black friends, right, across the aisle, They're not down with the whole trans stuff. That was shoveled down their throat. Do you know what I also found out about? They were not happy with Aunt Jemima getting off of the. They didn't think it was racist. They were pissed when Aunt Jemima came off the frickin' syrup. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I thought that everybody was on board with all this. I am learning so much stuff right now from the Democrat friends, the people that are real, what I call true Democrats, not this Democrat hierarchy crap, you know, the Pelosi's and the whack jobs in our government. But the real mom and pop, they're not down with this shit. I didn't know that. Ignorance, right? We're all, because I'm on this side, you know, you only see people like, I hate you, red hat, right? So you're used to that. But I had no idea that they weren't down with the whole political correctness. You know that? They're not down with that. You know who's down with that? Liberals. You know who changed everything? Liberals. This is not, the Democrats didn't do this. The Republicans didn't do this. It's one section that did this, and it's the liberals. Okay? That's why when all these things, these no kings, this is what I'm learning. None of the black folks showed up. Very little. Very little black folks showed up. People from that community, they didn't agree with it. Did you know that the people in Chicago are so happy? Did you know that? The people of Chicago are happy that the streets are getting cleaned up? Didn't know that either. You wouldn't have known that because of the governor and the mayor out there. I found out that they are welcoming. They are so thankful Donald Trump is in their community cleaning it up because they're sick of the crime and they're sick of their grandchildren and children being, flipping a coin to find out if they're going to get to see them again. That's got to be some scary shit. You know, I'm sitting here in the comfort of my safe home in Florida talking about the wild, wild west going on in the streets of Chicago. You know, it's not fair. It's scary. And I can't imagine the parents. I had a video. You know what? Where is that video? Let me pull this back. I want to find that video because I think it really summed it up. I wonder if I still have it in my email. Because I have a tendency of deleting stuff when I pull them up, but I know yesterday, it was part of yesterday's. Let me see if I can look at my history and see if my grouped history. Hold on a second, folks. I might have it in my grouped history. This is it. So let me do show. I might have it, I might not, folks. So just bear with me. I'm looking for it right now. If I'm lucky, I'll have it. No, that's not the right one. That's the one. Okay. Oh, I think it's right here. This might be it. Yes, it is. I got it, guys. I got it. You guys need to listen to this. Like this. Okay, I'm gonna put this up on the screen. You guys got to watch this. All right, here. This is. I just want to show you receipts because you can see that she's with a lot of people, and a lot of people end up clapping at her. Right? They clap for her. She's real Chicago, been there her whole life. It sounds like she's an activist as well. And she's a Democrat.
Brandon Johnson.
Can you guys hear it?
Look up here. Look up here. You got a real South Shore resident.
South Shore resident.
53 years.
53 years or 63 years. I couldn't hear
Not
it.
no paid protester. Not somebody that's paid with a 501c3. You got a real, live South Shore resident at this mic. Now what you're going to do for the citizens of South Shore and the black people of Chicago, you're going to stop with all this fake black facade you're doing. You're going to stop that. Because first of all, you're going to deal with the fact that word on the street is you're a Haitian. And if that be the case, that explains a lot. But if you're not, we're going to dethrone this acclamation you gave yourself at that Black Caucus thing, where you said that you the freest black man in America right now? I dare you insult black men like that. You are far cry from that. You're sitting here talking against Trump, trying to make him look this way or that way, when we right here this morning saw you misuse the police department to violate our rights as citizens. Yes, right. You told them that they cannot participate in getting these illegal immigrants while you sat up here and misrepresented that raid on South Shore Drive like black people was getting beat up and all that over there. You know that's a lie. I live over there, and black people over there, we kicking in and we chilling because ICE ain't looking for us. And you know they're not. They're coming to get what we asked our president to do, and that was to engage in mass deportation, to get these illegals out of our country. We are coming for them seats. Do you understand that? And while you got these people up in here acting like they pro-police, if they really was about the police, against the police, whatever the case may be, they deal with that Laquan McDonald Act so that we can get y'all up out of that seat. Yeah, you wipe your face. Yeah? You wipe your face because you're probably out breaking out in a sweat. Let me tell you something. We coming for them seats. And at first, I said it to you. Then it spread it to city council. But now you're going to mess with the black people of America and American citizens by being a fraud and showing the Democratic Party by how lousy they really are. Black people in America, American citizens, y'all say it along with me. From the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North to the South. The Democratic Party, we're putting y'all on alert. All across of America. That's right. We coming for them seats. That's right.
Now, that was the Democrat Party. That's the people of their party, right? They're coming for their seats because they're sick and tired of these fake Democrats stealing their seats. This is not their message. This is not their message, folks. They don't like it either. Imagine that. So now we have unity because the Democrats nor the Republicans really give a rat's ass about this political correctness or the liberals on the left, the whacked out left. So getting back to our soft on crime approach, our soft on crime, thank you, Lane. It's nice to see you. The soft on crime approach. So once again, the Democrat Party's soft on crime policies have led to the death of an innocent black woman. Now, let me ask you, do you think people in Philly, Pennsylvania that have been force-fed this anti-American, couched as Democrat Party bullshit, do you think that they're going to care about this stuff? This is liberal policies. This is not Democrat policies. I want you guys to understand that. This is liberal policies. Putting these violent criminals back out on the street. You don't tell me what normal Democrat person out there living there wants a criminal living next to them. Raise your hand if you're a Democrat and you want one of these criminals living next to you. Don't tell me that these Democrat people want these violent criminals living next to them when you got the Democrat Party in Chicago begging him, telling their mayor to shut up, sit down, and let the people come in there and clean it up. They know ICE ain't there for them. ICE ain't there for them. They're sick and tired of people taking their jobs too. Oh, what? You forgot about that. This is in Chicago. Let's bring it back to Philly, PA. Because we're all dealing with these problems across our country. And of course, our social media people, partners that should be partnering with freedom of speech and truth, are trying to censor and propagate the truth for a narrative. Why? Because most of the people that develop these social media platforms are, guess what? Yep, you got it, liberals. So they don't like us. They don't like the Democrats. They don't like the Republicans. And they've been throwing these people back out on the streets with us. Kada Scott, a victim of these policies, 23-year-old beauty queen, and Miss USA hopeful. She went missing while she was on her way to work on October 4th. That's changed because it says on her way to work. We heard that she clocked into work. I keep thinking, I've said it for a very long time, that I think Kada Scott was abducted. Either he went inside her work or she never made it in to clock in. I'd like to know how the clock-in system works at their job. So on her way to work on October 4th, over the weekend, authorities found human remains in a wooded area behind an abandoned Philadelphia school. 21-year-old Keon King was arrested and charged with kidnapping and other charges in Scott's disappearance. Now, the topic of our conversation for this is, was Kada Scott set up? Was she set up? My belief now, after hearing several different stories, is I do believe she knew of Keon. I believe Keon targeted her. And the reason why I feel that Keon targeted her is because of the one lady that spoke about a conversation she had with Keon. She showed the receipts. She showed the conversation. So when she was telling this story, she didn't seem, at least to me, that she was being devious or deceitful in any way. It sounded, if anything was mistaken, it was because that was her truth, right? So she misunderstood information, whatever the case may be, So it sounds like Keon saw her, liked her, and started asking other people. Now, if you ask me, is this normal? I would say yes. Okay. It took me a minute to go back to my high school days, right? Our high school and middle school days where we liked a boy, right? And, I had to go back to the days, prior to social media. And have I ever asked a girl, do you know so-and-so? Do you have so-and-so's number? And vice versa. Did a guy, reach out to somebody and say, hey, do you have, Andrew's number, her phone number or whatever? Because that's how we communicated. We had landlines when we were growing up. I know it's hard for some of you youngsters to believe, but our phones were corded and they plugged into a wall, okay? They didn't go into your pocket, okay? So whenever you had telephone calls, guess what? Those telephone calls had to come in on a landline, and most of the time you as a child did not answer the phone, okay? It was your mom or your dad, or it was the answering machine. Do you guys know what an answering machine is? Okay, well, for the folks, for all you youngsters, an answering machine, okay? It's a box that hooks to the phone, that hooks to the wall that you call in on. You know how you have voicemail on your cell phones? Well, back in my day, you didn't have voicemail, okay? You had an answering machine that required tapes, okay? Oh, good gracious. They don't know what a flippin' tape is. So, back in my day, okay, back before dirt was dirt, they made these things that you could record on, okay? They had like this magnetic strip. It looks like this. It's about, yay big. It had two little holes in it, and it recorded whatever you were saying. Yeah. They're called cassette tapes. You know what, youngsters? It might be easier if you go to Google. I think if you went to Google, you'll get an idea. You know what? Just go to Google and plug in an answering machine, okay? Go right and say, what is an answering machine, right? And this is not digital answering machines. When we were growing up, we had cassette tapes that went in it. And before they were like this big, and then they went to like a compact cassette tape where you only needed little ones like this, right? Go visit a museum. Oh, good gracious. Yes, go visit a museum. You're dating us, buddy. Next week, we're going to be talking about a map, okay? Not GPS. We're going to be talking about how to properly read a map for all you youngsters. We realize when we have to start defining cassette tape that you guys are like really, really... Oh, that's right. I forget. They don't even use cursive anymore. They speak in emoji. Everybody's like, oh, I remember somebody was trying to correct me because I do talk to text, right? And read a map. That's going to be our next lesson here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, how to read a map. Okay, so, rotary phones. We went over those too. Yeah, they wouldn't know how to use that. But what I was thinking is, when I was writing something, and I do this talk to text. Well, if you do talk to text, one of the worst parts about talk to text is there's no punctuations. Or it like in the middle of a text, you'll be saying, when we go to the store, it'll say when we go period, and then to the store period. It drives me nuts. So anyways, when you start seeing stuff like that, you just got to read it out loud. Okay. Read it out loud. So anybody was like, oh, you spelled this wrong. Oh, you didn't have punctuations. Oh, you didn't have a comma here. Oh, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? Our children right now are speaking and communicating with emojis. And you're worried about a period and a comma? Get out of here. I'm not even from New York. And that freaking New York accent, don't think you don't have one. Came out of me. It's like, get out of here, right? Get out of here. Oh, which reminds me, thank you. Who was that? Sheila, thank you. I got to go in through and do affirmations of a badass before we get going on the Kada Scott. Let's do that real quick. We got Melodee and we got Sheila. If you guys would like to participate in your affirmations of a badass pulling of a card, $5, no holla, baby. $5 no holla. $4 will get you two. Thank you. We definitely appreciate that. So let's do Melanie first. Hold on, I'm going to have to move. I got to be able to shuffle my cards here. Because we don't want to keep doing the stuff from last. Oh, and they're starting to get a little, now that I'm shuffling them a little bit more, they're starting to bend a little easier. The first day, it was a little rough trying to get these things to shuffle. I got to be honest with you. It was a little rough. Okay, let's see what we got for your affirmations of a badass. Let's see what we got. First is Melanie. Melanie. Okay. So we got one. I keep doing them upside down. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are your positive badass affirmations for today. It's okay. Mistakes are just proof that you're trying. Don't give up. I love that. Stop making excuses and just start the thing. It's the F word. So it says, stop making excuses and just start the effing thing. You are thankful for your amazing life. Ooh, I love that one. Once you fall in love with yourself, their game is over. I love that one. And that one's come up quite a bit. That's a sign. The best shit happens outside of your so something for you, Melodee. I don't know what's going on in your life. It looks like it's telling you your karma is telling you to push through. Your karma, I don't know what's going on. I bet you got something going on and you're probably a little worried about it. Well, your karma cards have been telling you to push through the stuff. Whatever it is, push through. All right, Sheila. Sheila's next. Oh, let me get my monster voice.
Sheila, you're mine.
All right, let's stop. Sheila. Let's see how badass. What are your positive affirmations for today? Badass Sheila. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what you got. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Ooh, I like that. There is a crap ton of happiness ahead of you. Ooh, I like these. So Melanie's you got to push through whatever you're going through, and you're being told, your karma makeup saying, hey, you got some happy times ahead of you. When life knocks you down, get up and say, you hit like a... Use obstacles to motivate yourself and learn to grow. Oh, I like that. Don't half-ass anything. If you're gonna F up all the way. Ooh! You got some fun ahead of you, I see. You got some fun ahead of you. All right, Sheila. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I saw a few other people here. Let me just go up here and change this so I don't miss anybody. So we've got Melodee. We got Sheila. Oh, Sonia. Sonia says, hit me. Oh, Sheila wants another. She's ready for some more. Okay. All right. Sonia. Hit me with your best shot. Let's see what... I don't know, Sonia. There's some swear words in here. Let's see if yours comes out with good ones. Let's see if it picks you up. Let's see. Let me shuffle here. Pick you up. Let's see what we got for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what Sonia put her hand in the hat. Let's see. Ooh, I already like the first one. Happiness is a choice, and today you choose to be over the top happy. Ooh, I like that. You are brave, you are fierce, and you can do hard, blessed things. Ooh, I love it. Scream, yell, freak the blank out, and then go do something that matters. Ooh, I love it. You can sit with really big feelings, and you're still going to be okay. I love it. I don't have to be perfect you don't have to be perfect to be blessed awesome. Wow. Talk about good stuff for you. Oh, I love that for you. Sheila's gonna hit it again. Hit me with your best shot. Flying away. I don't know where that came from. Let's see what we got. Sheila. Let's see. All right. Let me shuffle. See what we got going on here. So Sheila gets another dose of some positive affirmations of a badass. Woohoo! All right, Sheila. You are amazing. Rock that. Starts with an S. You will get there. You're going to do great today. Love it. If love turns lonely, let go. Ooh. What's this one? You're getting better and better every blessed day. Ooh, I love that. You have a kick-ass life. Woo! All right, Sheila. Now we're going to Deanna. Deanna, what's in it for you? And then we'll get back to our regular scheduled program. Good news. The good news is this is social media, right? So we don't have any time constraints. I'm not constrained by a 2-hour window. If we want to go over, we can go over. We'll get back to the regular program. Let's see what Miss Deanna's got in her positive affirmation badass wheelhouse today. Dun 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 dun. I wish I had some drums. Okay. You're an amazing. Ooh, I like this. You're an amazingly strong, competent, take no shit, speak my mind forward, blessed badass. Ooh, love that one. Got some good ones in here. You are enough. You are you. And you are so blessed worth it. Oh, I love it. You find your happy place and go with the flow. Positivity radiates out of you. I can't even read. Positivity radiates out of you like the blessed sunshine. Woohoo! Inhale, exhale, and let that effing go. So, love that for you. We got some badasses up in here. That was Deanna. Ooh, Bella Rose. Hey, Bug in the chat has always. like to perform loving GA PDF teacher. It's nice to see you, love bugs. Nice to see you. Welcome to this crazy place we call the Coffee Club. We're a little cray-cray over here, but we have a lot of positivity. Yay! All right. So Bella Rose, here's your, how badass are you? What is your positive badass cards? What is in the cards for you? Let's find out. Bella Rose. Oh, you're already starting out on fire. You are a blessed masterpiece. Love that. You know, when I say blessed, it has the F-bomb. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm trying to tone the cards down just a little bit. Just tone them down. Just, if I'm going to drop the F-bomb, I want it to be for the you know, CCP called YouTube. Like, I want to tell them to F off, you know. Just toning it down just a little bit. Okay. Your unique spirit brings a shit ton of light to the world. Ooh, Bella, you got some good stuff here. You're not a sunrise. You're the blessed sun. That's good for you, Bella. Some women fear the fire. Some women simply become it. Ooh, you're fire, Bella. Whoever is trying to bring you down is already below you. Ooh, I love that for you. And Allie, we're going to throw you in too. Thank you for your sponsorship and your lovely coffee cup. I love it. We'll throw you in here too. We'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll give you 5 cards. Thanks for the love and support. So let's see what Allie's is. Allie's is, even though you're anxious and afraid, you will be blessed brave anyways. Love that. Your magic, own that. The S word shit. Own that shit. I guess I could say it. What the heck. You will not be an a-hole to yourself. So whatever you're beating yourself up with, stop it. The cards tell you you're not going to be an a-hole to yourself. So you must have been an a-hole to yourself this week. Stop it. Contrary to popular belief, you know exactly what you're doing. Aw, I love that. So keep doing what you're doing. Making mistakes is better than fake perfections. Ooh, I love it. The real up in the house. Thank you guys. That was fun. A little break, from the traditional stuff. I love that. So we have a poll going right now. If you haven't done it yet, please get over there and do it. The poll is basically, was Kada Scott set up? You know, we're kind of looking at this case, and I'm breaking it down for you, and I'm starting to feel, oh, hey, allegedly, it's nice to see you. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. As soon as I can fix my password, I'll say, oh, thank you. It's always appreciated, but never required. As you guys know, the only requirement that I require my family over here to do is hit the thumbs up button. That is literally the only requirement. If you're so lazy that you can't even go out there and hit the thumbs up button, come on. Bullhorn. Just saying. So, thank you guys for that. I love seeing that. It's so good to see you too, honey. So good to see you too. So, long story short, I do believe she was set up. I believe that this was a situation where this guy reached out to some people. At least that's what I'm seeing so far. This is kind of what I'm seeing. This doesn't mean that this is what happened, folks, okay? This is Bullhorn Betty's opinion of what happened. From everything I'm learning right now, this is kind of how I see it, okay? So Keon reached out to another girl to get a hold of Kada, Okay, he started questioning, even though I don't think she had the phone number for her, whatever. He started asking about Kada. Okay, this was days before she was reported missing, it sounds like, or sometime before she disappeared. So she walks her dog regularly. We learn that. She walks her little dog around the area. It doesn't sound like she's with the shenanigans, so she doesn't need a pharmacist. Okay, she doesn't need a street pharmacist. She doesn't do that shit. So she's a good girl. She's just walking her dog in a middle-class neighborhood in Philly, PA. And that's what it was. The area looks clean. It looks like a great place to raise a family. I'm not going to say anything different. I've seen bad places, okay? And those bad places in the middle of the day have people hanging out their houses, sitting and playing dice, and you know, it looks like a freaking ghetto. I don't know what you guys know a ghetto is, but it looks like my ghettos. That's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a normal community, okay? Seems like a lot of people that take pride in their home, that go to work during the day because there's not a lot of people out there. A normal middle-class community. And the reason why I'm stressing this is because at first I was told from a couple people, you know, I didn't know them. They were just trying to explain the area. Maybe they were trying to but it didn't sound like this area was necessarily the best area to be in. Okay, so I'm from Florida. I don't know any better. You know, I take people's words when they send it, and then I find out, wait a minute, there was a lot of people in my chat saying, no, this is actually very good community. And then I saw, but before that happened, I saw a woman with her camera going around the neighborhood, taking us around. And I looked at the neighborhood myself, and I'm sorry, I've been a lot of crummy neighborhoods. I've been all over this country, right? And it looked like a good, clean neighborhood. You could always tell by the yards. If the houses are dilapidated, falling apart, and the yards are unkept, you know you're not in a great neighborhood, okay? These are not people that take pride in their home. These are most likely people that don't own their home, right? Because people that are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars or a mortgage are not going to allow their home to just be dilapidated. So I was misdirected in part by myself. You know, I didn't know where this area was. You know, I talked to a few people. They said, yeah, you know, there's crime ridden, but you know, there's crime everywhere. We have to remember that. But long story short, we did have an opportunity to take a walk around the community. The community looked great, but it did seem like Keon King lived in the community, lived a few roads or, you know, within a quarter mile of her home. He was always out in the street because he was the pharmacist, and so he must have seen her walking the dog and starts asking friends, you know, who she is and if they had her phone number. He must have been the one that got a hold of her number. She probably answered the phone, and he's like, hey, you know, I'm so-and-so. I'd like to date you, right? That's probably kind of how it went. I'd like to date you. Let me fix this. I don't like the box looking like that. I got a little line right there. And it sounds like somebody may have actually given her phone number to him, because it seems like shortly after that she started being harassed by this guy. And what she probably did is say, you know, hey, I'm Keon. I seen you walking your dog. You know me. You know me. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And she's like, you know, I'm not kind of digging you. I'm not feeling you. You're not my kind of guy, you know? And he may have gotten rubbed the wrong way, because it sounds like somebody was harassing her before she disappeared. And it sounds like she may have been in a relationship, but everything I've learned about Kada so far tells me that she would never date. Now, I could be wrong. We might find out that she did date him, but it doesn't seem like she would have likely have dated him. And then, of course, learning of his new charges. If you guys remember, we just watched a press conference on here where they went over his new charges, and his new charges were related to burning of a vehicle. Let me move my buttons over here so we can get some accurate information. Let me just go through. I don't want to be wrong about this, so let me just go through what we learned. So it sounds like we just learned that there was, because we were originally looking for a 99 gold, metallic gold Camry, Toyota Camry with a lot of front end damage. That's what we were looking for. About a day after law enforcement came to the public looking for that car, A family member of Keon must have called because it was at their apartment and in their apartment parking lot. So law enforcement was able to go and get that car and tow that out of that community. So we thought, okay, well, they have the car. Well, you can imagine our surprise when he's charged with a whole bunch of new um, charges, and none of them are murder. He has not been charged with the homicide of Kada Scott yet, but the new charges include arson, cause for catastrophe, conspiracy, which means more than two people involved, two or more people are involved, unauthorized use of what was it? Unauthorized use of a vehicle or something like that, receipt and stolen property. And this all took place related to a 2008 black Hyundai being set on fire, and that was I have here 66 Spring Street, but I also, oh, the burning must have been at, because I got 10-7, and that's when the car was set ablaze. And I got 10-7, I got 2400 block of 74th Avenue. So that must have been where the car was set afire. And the rec center must be at the 66 Spring Street. So that makes sense. So those were the new charges. Again, not homicide type of charges. So that was the first time we realized another car was potentially used to carry out this kidnapping. But when we learned the details of this other car, we learned that this car was stolen on October 3rd, a day before she disappeared. She was kidnapped. So now we have to take those pieces that we learned from the other person and try to blend them in with this new information of these other charges about the car that they now believe she was in. So I would now, because this 2008 vehicle was set ablaze, it would be my opinion that they either transported her deceased body or she was killed inside that car, that vehicle. That is what that's telling me, but that was stolen. Again, stolen before she disappeared and burned 3 days, 72 hours after she disappeared. So it was stolen on the 3rd, October 3rd, and it was set ablaze on October 7th. And so that's why when I see the October 7th, 2025 here, and it says 2400 74th Avenue, that must be in me, knowing how I keep notes. It sounds to me like that's the place that this fire of this vehicle took place. So we have October 3rd, the vehicle was stolen. We have October 4th was when Kada was kidnapped, and she was kidnapped in the evening after she went on a date with another man. And then by the 7th, it was burned, and they said that car, the Hyundai, the 2000 black Hyundai, was at the rec center for a day and a half, and then immediately burned on the 7th. So was she inside that car for a couple days before they decided to go ahead and bury her? I don't know, but what it does tell me is that people came back to this location multiple times. And I don't think it was just with him being the pharmacist. I know how pharmacists and their clientele work. They can typically get things or have their clientele do things on their behalf for a payment of substances, right? A trade, if you will. And most of these people are fiends, depending on what type of substances you're slinging. If it's just green, you're not going to get that effect. But if it's something like Coca-Cola, crack pop, something like that, Fent, you're going to have people that are heavily dependent, meth, you're going to have people that are heavily dependent on those substances that you can manipulate to do things for you, because most people that are on those substances are very poor because they have this dependency that takes every penny they have, and they have to engage in things like thefts, prostitution, a whole level of different types of illegal activity to support their substance abuse. So it's very easy to get one of these people that are fiends to do things for you. Is that what we're looking at here? Are those the conspirators? The co-conspirators, rather. I'm hearing in the back that it might be his brother. It sounds like he's not an only child. It could possibly be a family affair, kind of like what we saw in the case of Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra. They were in San Antonio. Matthew Guerra was the dealer and pharmacist, so to speak. And one of his clients ended up killing him and his pregnant girlfriend that was just about to give birth to their child, their baby Fabian. He was already named and everything like that. And then they were in their car, shot in the head. Both of them, killing that baby. So it was, because she was carrying it. Obviously, when mom dies, you guys know how this goes. Okay, so long story short, we did cover that case. It was a very sad case. It's, his mom and dad helped him cover up the crime. Is this what we're going to find out? Is this more of a family affair, or does it stop at the brother? Was it friends? Was it people that he slings the substances to that were helping him? We don't know. We really don't know. But not good. Anyways, 21-year-old Keon King was arrested and charged with kidnapping and other charges in Scott's disappearance. It turns out King, as always, was a career criminal who was repeatedly set loose by the justice system, including Soros-backed Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner. He must have been watching Bullhorn Betty and knew his only way out was to take ownership, because we are anti-George Soros on this channel. We're anti anything that wants to promote criminality and keeping bad guys on the streets. I think George Soros should be exiled from the United States. I think anybody that does business with him in the United States should be thrown in prison. He has committed lots of crimes against humanity here in the United States. Lots of crimes, including, but not limited to, child stuff. I don't like the man. I think George Soros and his entire family are not from here, and they should be expelled out of the United States. And if they are caught ever doing business with the United States, those people should be thrown in jail. I'm sorry. I don't like it. We're getting to the bottom of it. I believe before Donald Trump is out of office, this stuff that we're dealing with and we've been dealing with for the last 10, 12 years is going to be over. I'm waiting for the day. So Philadelphia's George Soros-backed DA Larry Krasner is facing mounting backlash after repeat offender previously released on low bail and freed when Krasner's office dropped kidnapping and assault charges, was charged in the disappearance of Miss USA hopeful Kada Scott, 23, whose remains were found over the weekend. Guys, we had another situation here in my community, not in Manatee County, but 2 hours away in Orange County, because Orange County is our blue area in they're the ones that have the George Soros backed stuff. I'm going to end up having to go over there and work in Orange County and whip them in shape. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I kind of, it's almost, they're so messed up over there in Orange County. It's sick. They have pedos. They have Disney, which is filled with nothing but pedos. It's just an evil place. Guys, I will tell you, I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've loved Disney World. I've loved the parks. Don't send your kids there. Whatever's going on in this country, we don't know who they're hiring there. I have not been back. I actually want them out of the state of Florida. I think that they are disgusting. I think that they do not care about children. We are not Disney friendly on this channel. We're just not. We're not. Too many crimes against children. Too many times. One of our sheriffs here, if you guys don't know who he is, he's basically America's sheriff. His name is Grady Judd. A lot of people know who Grady Judd is. Well, he does these stings. He has a lot of efforts from our, and he works around the country to help other states with the same kind of stuff. He doesn't keep it to himself. He spreads it around. It's what we love about our beautiful sheriffs here in the state of Florida. But Grady Judd is a very tough on crime sheriff. And he does all these stings for our children, who are online. He's got some of the worldly best investigators online that mimic themselves as children, know exactly what to say and do in these chat rooms. They're very skilled and very good at what they do. Every time they do a bust. Every time, folks. I know I just got loud. I want you to hear me. Every time. There is not a person from any other company every single time they do one of these busts except Disney. Do you know that? We have literally huge corporations all over the state of Florida, but you bet your ass every time we have a sting for child predators, there is somebody, an employee or two from Disney. You can almost guarantee it. Keep your kids out of those parks. This world has gone crazy. Your children are prey. And there's no place to have fun except smaller parks where you don't have to stand in line for hours. They go and hug those Mickey, you don't know what they're doing when those nope. Nope. We didn't have to worry about that when I was younger, but we didn't have people sexualizing children either. Okay? Our country's gotten twisted. They're sick. So are the people that keep them sick, which is places like Disney. And we have George Soros back, but the reason why I went on this tangent is because, in all fairness, we just had a situation where a guy that should have been in jail, again, in a Democrat-ran area here in Florida, was let go until he raped and murdered a woman on one of our hiking trails. Now he's arrested. Now he doesn't have bond, right? There's got to be something done to these judges. We've got to hold them accountable. We've got to hold them accountable. And you know what? We're at the mercy of our very disgusting and corrupted government right now, right? Our government's been shut down. But even if it's not, we've known we've had these problems for a while, and what are they doing about it? What is our government doing about it? They're doing absolutely squat. Our judges need to be held accountable. They need to have some of their immunity stripped from them so we can hold them accountable. They need to be charged with accessory charges until then. Right now, every time they let one of these criminals out because of their activism, they should now be criminally liable for being an accessory after the fact and before the fact. Because they're an accessory after the fact to the crime they committed, and they're an accessory before the fact for the crime they're about to commit. We need to start prosecuting these judges. There is too much loss of life with these judges allowing people just to walk freely amongst us, knowing that they're violent criminals and will kill us, that they are a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And these judges just let them go. And that's the exact same thing that happened in Kada Scott. Kada Scott is dead because of the policies. That's clear. She would be alive right here, right now, if it wasn't for George Soros and the liberal policies that are infiltrating our government. And that's all there is to it. You can hate me, love me. You can keep, they can keep censoring me on this platform all they want. It's not going to change the facts. It's just not. It's not going to change the facts. So we know that he was previously released on low to no bail. He was freed when Kasner's office dropped the kidnapping charges. And because of that, Kada Scott is dead. Same with baby. Absolutely, Alicia. Absolutely. I love it. You are 100% right. At a tense Friday news conference, Krasner blames the systematic issue for the suspect on the bail reform, the very, very overwhelmingly Democratic bail reform. He's blaming his own party, right? Because somebody had to bring the law up. Who was it? It wasn't a Republican, right? Because the Republican side of the aisle believes people that harm somebody should go to jail and stay in jail until they either serve their their time or they're found not guilty. That's how we believe, right? We believe in God and we believe in accountability. And we also believe when somebody harms you, they should go to jail. We never thought in a million years that you as the victim would be punished the most. Right? But you're already assaulted or harmed by the criminal. Then you're harmed by the system because they victimize you all over again by putting your captor, your assaulter, your murderer out there on the streets to harm somebody else. So we all know when we watch this press conference that Krasner ended the press conference prematurely because they were going after his record publicly. And he's up on the chopping block this year. I would recommend people in that community do what I have been recommending and suggesting for over a decade. Start hiring law and crime. If they're not talking about being tough on crime and putting the bad guys behind bars, they are not worth your time. Because it's only going to be a matter of time before this is starting to knock on your door. Prosecutors have now filed additional charges against 21-year-old. I knew he was younger. Look at that. 2 years younger. I knew it. Keon King, escalating these cases that gripped Philadelphia. It shouldn't have gripped Philadelphia because they should have known to keep criminals behind bars. I don't know what positive thing do they think putting a criminal back out on the streets after violating people. I don't understand what the mentality behind that. These people are freaking stupid. King, who they just want to wreak havoc in this country. They want to destabilize America. I do believe that. And of course, YouTube and other social media oligarchs want to silence the people that are saying the truth. King, who is already facing kidnapping, stalking, false imprisonment counts, now faces a new slate of charges, including arson, conspiracy, tampering with evidence, and causing a catastrophe after police discovered Scott's body in a shallow grave. You know what they also didn't have? Abuse of corpse. I didn't see any type of abuse of a corpse on here. Investigators said King used a burned vehicle to move Scott's body, and that both his phone data and the vehicle linked him to multiple crime scenes. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Earlier this year, Krasner's office dropped the assault and kidnapping charges against King after a witness failed to show up to court. Now, mind you, I want to put this caveat on here. They had everything they needed to pursue the charges. They did not need the witnesses. They might have had to drop one of the charges, but they should have been able to prosecute the rest of them without the need of any of the witnesses, and they just didn't do it. Krasner's office let King walk just on a $20,000 bond. According to Fox News, Krasner's office implied the witnesses didn't show up and they were afraid of King being out on bond. Judge Pat Dugan, why does that name sound familiar? Pat Dugan. Judge Pat Dugan. I believe we had a Judge Pat Dugan here in Florida at some point. I hope it's not the same judge. Judge Pat Dugan, who is running to unseat Krasner, blasted the DA office over Scott's murder, saying Krasner had every chance to appeal the bail decision. They chose to appeal the bail decision. Let's listen to what he has to say.
In the update press conference that Larry Krasner had involving the disappearance of Kada Scott, he's blaming the municipal court judges on the bail system. Here's how it works, folks. There's an arraignment. Both sides are present, prosecutor and the public defender. So there's a bail set. The prosecutor or the defense attorney, they have the immediate right to file an appeal 24/7. They can get a judge on a phone immediately. If Larry Krasner's office does not like the decision by that judge, they can go into the Court of Common Pleas immediately and file a bail appeal. Yet his office, by policy, does not appeal bail decisions by judges. Look at the facts. Ask Larry Krasner, out of tens of thousands of bail decisions by judges, how many has he appealed? And it's an extremely low number. Folks, we need to start holding this guy accountable.
Agreed. Agreed. King is now being held on now they can come up with $2.5 million bond. Kind of funny. And they obviously have Krasner and blood dripping from his hands because there's blood on his hands. So you guys can feel the sentiments of the community. We're not going to take away from that because I quite frankly agree with them. You know, I agree with the community being at odds with this and being upset. You know, I do. I understand it completely. Sent you an email, Ray Pat Dugan. Okay. So who is Pat Dugan? Let's read this. A multi-year veteran of the municipal courts, U.S. Army, is running against incumbent Larry Krasner in the race for district attorney in Philadelphia. He's a former municipal court judge who's running as a Republican candidate against the attorney. I hope these communities start, I think they'll be better off and better represented by Republicans. They've been voting Democrat for literally 20 and 30 years. I mean, give the Republicans a chance. They might clean your shit up. I mean, we don't have these problems in our areas. We just don't. So he's running as a Republican, and it looks like they have an election on November 4th, 2025. He's a veteran, a military veteran, a lifelong Philadelphian. Dugan has said he's running to restore both stronger prosecution for violent crimes and more robust diversion for lesser offenses. I love that. Because you guys know how I believe. I don't think that lesser offenses need to be in prison. I want them in work release because, in my opinion, if they're stealing stuff, it's because they don't have money. If they don't have money, it's because they don't have an education or they've never been taught life skills. And I truly believe by teaching people life skills and teaching them how to make money and how to get themselves out of, stuff and be a good steward of this country, once they get learned or taught the life lessons that they need, you're amazed at how they thrive. They don't need to steal. They're stealing to survive. You take that away from them. You show them how to survive. You give them, not just show them how to survive, but show them how to live. You'll get a lot better results. But I want criminals, people that are violent, I want them in jail. I want them behind bars. I think there's other things. I love this. This is exactly what we believe, and it's to restore stronger prosecution for violent crimes and more robust diversion for lesser offenses. I love that. That's perfect.
What's broken in Philadelphia is the system because of Larry Krasner. Larry Krasner refuses to be a partner with the police department, with the mayor, with the courts. It is by design. And this poor, beautiful young woman, Kada Scott, I believe Larry Krasner has enabled Mr. Keon King. I'm calling him a co-conspirator in her murder because he refuses to train his DAs. Imagine that. He doesn't train brand new DAs. So then they go in front of a court. They don't know what they're doing. What's broken in Philadelphia is the system because of Larry Krasner. Larry Krasner refuses to be a partner with the police department, with the mayor, with the courts.
Sorry.
It is by design. And this poor,
I
beautiful...
forgot they keep going and going. It just doesn't stop after. Some of these do. So, the community is... cause of death still pending as community unites with her family. I think this might be the...
and right now, donations pouring in to support...
I saw this because this is showing you the memorial set up. If we were out there, we would make sure that memorial was huge for her, but it's beautiful.
The family, as the investigation into Kada Scott's death continues. Her remains were found over the weekend after a nearly 2-week-long search for her.
So many people now just trying to show their support for the family. The community preparing to gather again tonight in honor of the 23-year-old Kada. Kelly, a balloon release is scheduled to start in about an hour.
Sheba, that's right, and you can see people starting to gather with balloons here behind me. I can tell you tonight we are still waiting on the medical examiner to determine Kada's cause and manner of death. Law enforcement sources.
And I just want to remind you guys, this is terrible. This is totally preventable. This should not be happening.
Tell me that will likely be what leads to homicide charges in this case. We're also told an anthropologist was told to come in and assist, and this process certainly takes time. Now, the
anthropologist, she must have had a lot of decomp.
The district attorney's office made it very clear yesterday they do believe Keon King had help, but so far police have not announced additional arrests.
And I keep wondering, just to let you know, if there is a possibility of some of these people being in jail for unrelated charges. We're not monitoring the arrests, and I hope somebody is monitoring the arrest roster, the arrest roster for things such as conspiracy charges, arson charges, those types of things. If you guys are doing this research or you guys are checking Philadelphia logs for arrest, be paying attention to those types of things, those types of arrests. If you find something that's over from I would say the 7th on, we have any arrests from the 7th on to recently to today, so it's just like 3 weeks worth of arrests. Anything that's identified with any of the charges that we're seeing Keon being charged with. Obviously, they're not levying any type of homicide charges on anybody. So it's going to be these other, underlying charges, the arson charge, the conspiracy, stolen vehicle, something along the lines of arson, cause a catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of electronic device, I think is what it was, receipt and stolen property, and those types of charges. If you start seeing people getting picked up on this, just send those people's names to me, and we'll start looking to see if there's any connection. It's just breaking my heart. She should be alive. I get it. OG, it's, what do you do? It sucks. And there's nothing nobody can do about it. And it's what was the worst part about it is when we first took this case, we didn't really take it. We thought maybe she had snuck off, left work. She's 23 years old, just started a job. We were looking at all possibilities. So that was kind of the one that was, for me, that was holding the most water. And of course, we did talk about, stranger danger, somebody from her work, even a significant other, prior lover, type of thing. But really, nothing really fit at the time because we weren't hearing anything from the family. We weren't hearing anything from law enforcement. And then, I was checking around, and I was checking for the next 2 or 3 days after I ran that first initial show. And maybe it was a day or two, and there was no additional stories about her for 24 or 48 hours. No additional stories about Kada. So I figured maybe it was one of these things where they were going to quietly let it just go, and she was going to be found, and she snuck off with her friends, and they didn't want to row it up anymore. And so that's kind of where I was feeling in the back of my head when I didn't see those stories come in for the next 24 hours or 48 hours, and then boom, I hear homicide. Homicide investigators are involved, and I'm like, okay, this is much more serious. We knew at that point that this was not good. But we didn't take it seriously either, and I think it's because law enforcement wasn't taking it seriously at the time. But when they started taking it seriously, obviously the whole world started taking it seriously. We realized we had a problem, and we wanted to get down to the bottom of it. I don't think that anybody would have thought Keon King, because I couldn't find any connection with anybody. I couldn't even find her social media accounts. I couldn't find anything to sleuth. I couldn't find anything to try to help this family with. We didn't know if she had any, nobody was talking about her going on a date with another guy. Everything was just kept very, very silent. It's like, we want the public's help, but we don't want the public's help type of thing. That's the way I felt. So it was like one of these things where I was kind of half foot in, half foot out, because if law enforcement is going to, obstruct trying to help a family, then I don't have time for it anymore, right? Law enforcement is really starting to get arrogant because they don't like, social media showing them up. And I it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about bringing people home and closing the case. Okay? I don't give a rat's ass who does it. But what we're seeing now is the arrogance in law enforcement. They're too scared to, because we've done it so many times. They've gone, I mean, look at Kylie Rodney. Okay? Kylie Rodney is a prime example. Law enforcement didn't want anybody involved. They didn't want people searching. They didn't want social media involved. They had all of their bells and whistles searching for Kylie Rodney, and they couldn't find her. It's very intense. We finally found like a smoke light, or a fire tower, one of the things that monitors for fire, and you could literally see her headlights going into the water. We knew the car was driven into the water after we saw that video, because we did an overlay as well. We took the view from the camera during the day, and we overlaid the lights over it, and we could clearly see the lights went into the water. And so Adventures with Purpose went out there, and within 15 minutes, they found her. Now, mind you, law enforcement was out in that water over her car for literally a couple days. They couldn't find her. They couldn't see her. Literally 10 feet below them, folks. Let me repeat that. She was 10 feet below law enforcement. Law enforcement had all the bells and whistles that Adventures with Purpose had, but they just don't utilize the equipment as often, and therefore they miss a lot where Adventures with Purpose did not. So within 15 minutes, the case of Kylie Rodney had come to an end. Okay? It was over. She was found. She was found inside her car. She was drinking. She wasn't supposed to drive. She was supposed to go with somebody else, and clearly she got behind the wheel and thought she would make it, and it was so dark out there, and her windows were already down, that whenever she went into the water, it had to have happened so fast that her car just went straight under and went under very quickly. And she was so intoxicated and under the influence, she didn't know what happened. And it doesn't take very long. You get water in your lungs, you're gone. So just to give you guys a little bit of insight on that, there are things that can help, but that's, I think, why social media is getting a bad rap. We work fast. It's not that we work. You got to understand, most of these law enforcement bodies, they may have a few hundred employees, and that's including their beat, their patrol units, right? Well, social media, we have hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, we have hundreds of thousands of people. When we have these cases that dive into these cases, start diving in, web sleuthing, we web sleuth. We get into as much. There's a time when I was looking into a case that I found. It was a guy. He was going through a divorce with a woman here in the state of Florida. Their son went missing, and everybody thought the dad had the son. Well, the son ended up running away because he was upset about something, but everybody thought the father had him. Within 5 or 10 minutes of sleuthing, I had this guy's driver's license, his social security number, his girlfriend's name, social security number, driver's license, his ex-wife's social security number, driver's license. These were all things that were put online by them. Let me repeat that. I was able to acquire all of this information in 5 to 10 minutes because this was the information they themselves put online. Be careful with what you put online. Okay? How was I able to find it? Because the dad got pissed off at the mom and put some of their court documents on his page. And likewise, mom did the same. So when I got to their social media, their public social media that nobody looks at because they're nobodies, in the grand scheme of things, well, now they have a child missing and they've got a bullhorn Betty in their social media that now has their driver's license numbers, their social security numbers, date of births, and just about everything about their family because of something that they posted online. Okay? It was not the father. The son ended up coming home. I destroyed the information because I have no reason to have it. And that was the ending of the stuff. But I just want to let you know that that's how social media In web sleuths work, we get inside, we do our web work, and we can find, it's a lot of time. It takes a lot of going through a lot of different things, but it's amazing what you will find. So I would recommend anybody watching the Bullhorn Betty channel to go back through your profiles and go through your pictures and analyze every photo you've stuck into your account or somebody has tagged you in, and see if it's something you really want everybody to see. If not, delete it, okay? That's the only way that you're going to get, because you never know, you might be next. Your child might go missing, and next thing you know, you got Bullhorn Betty in your social media profile knowing your driver's license and social security number. Aren't you happy that I'm the one that you see when you think of your information being out there in the real world? It's just that scary, folks. Take care of your private information, just saying.
I have new clues in connection to the Kada Scott case. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Natasha Brown. CBS Philadelphia did uncover not one, but two mysterious tips that led police straight to Kada's body. Right now, only one suspect, Keon King, is charged with kidnapping her, but no one has been charged in her murder. Chief investigative reporter Joe Holden.
I keep wondering. We know that there is conspiracy here, and we know that there's going to be a co-conspirator. For whatever reason, I think the co-conspirator is working with law enforcement, because the first thing cops get pissed because web sleuths are able to do the work that they don't think to do. Well, yeah, that's true too. We do the work that they don't think. Not only that, most of these people, they're good at shoe leather detective work, right? But this day and age, the majority of everything's online, right? The majority of everything's digital in nature. So you need to have people that are digital in nature, that are sleuths, that know where to look. And I'm not by any means an expert, like, somebody like Jonathan. Jonathan scares me. I will not lie. I thought it was cool when I was dating him until he turned on me. And then I'm thinking, what is he going to do to me in another year or two? But he's a very dangerous man. And I worry with things like that, but I'm not a Jonathan Riches, right? And he's definitely a lot more skilled than I will ever be. Olivia is another good, very highly skilled web sleuth. I look at a lot of different things. I guess you could say I'm a web sleuth as well, because I don't just use social media. I track you down by public records. That's how I track people down. I utilize a bunch of different types of records, from property records, non-ad valorem type of tax records. I'll find you. I'll find just about anybody except Kada Scott's social media account. Just saying.
Has been working his sources all day long today.
He's at police headquarters right now with details. Joe?
Yuki and Natasha, so that includes sources in the medical examiner's office behind me, as well as Philadelphia Police and the district attorney's office. Our sources telling us that there is now a forensic anthropologist on the case working with the medical examiner's office. If
anybody wants to know who that is the black man that's a racist, that stalks white women. He hates white people. But his focus is always on white women for some reason, and I don't quite get it. I think it's going to get him in trouble, but he's a lonely little electrician that can't hack it in the electrical world. So he comes and stalks us.
In trying to arrive at a specific cause of death for Kada Scott. They are busy behind the scenes working this
on Simon case. Yeah, she was.
Very large investigation that includes many people and many parts of the city. Part of the work in uncovering the case of Kada Scott, that 23-year-old whom police sources say was kidnapped by Keon King outside the Chestnut Hill assisted living facility where she worked, is we know that police say she was likely killed 20 minutes after she got into a 2008 Hyundai Accent driven by King. That was...
Wow. That's new information, folks. Did you guys hear that? She was killed 20 minutes after getting in that car. And I don't think she got in that car willingly. Wow. That is new information. So my question is, I'm going to give you guys just a few moments to finish. Do you guys think the poll right now, we got 141 votes. It said, did Philly PD fail Kada Scott? And the question, and people are saying yes. I need to put another poll up because my poll needs to be, hold on, let me get another poll. So was Kada failed by the county? That means everybody. That means the system, the sheriffs, the county, the people that are responsible for protecting these citizens in their community. I heard Chestnut Hill is a very well-to-do area. This was premeditated, in my opinion. I'm starting to feel like that too, because I'm starting to get the timeline together. And it's very important with this timeline because we have the stealing of the car. Now, mind you, we have a woman talking about Keon reaching out to her, specifically talking about Kada. This was before she disappeared. We have to assume that he got her number somehow. He started calling her. It sounds like she wanted nothing to do with him. And so there's the harassing calls, right? He calls her. She's like, she's been walking her dog. He saw a girl walking a dog. He likes her. He's a dealer. Nobody tells him no. He calls people up, finds out who she is, finds out her phone number, starts calling her. She's like, who? Oh, you? Nah, I appreciate you calling me, but I'm not interested, right? And then she goes off with another guy to go on a date, and he's like, oh, F you. But I don't think he knew about that date unless he called her to take her out and she says, no, I've got another date with another guy. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that car, that 2008 that they just said she died within 20 minutes after getting in the 2008 black Hyundai. Within 20 minutes, she was deceased. Within 20 minutes, she was deceased. Let's listen to that.
Accent driven by King. That was all the way back on.
Let's go back.
Kidnapped by Keon King outside the Chestnut Hill assisted living facility where she worked. We know that police say she was likely killed 20 minutes after she got into a 2008 Hyundai Accent.
20 minutes after she got into a 2008 Hyundai Accent. So was she set up? That's what I meant to say. Let me clear this one out. Sorry, guys. Let me get the right one up. Was she set up? That's the question. That's the question I want. Was she set up? Hold on. Let me get the poll started. Was Kada Scott set up? Question. This is the one I want to know your answers on. Sorry, I got the other poll wrong. The other one was about 86 or 87%, 141 people said that they do believe she was failed. She was failed. I didn't catch the other one. I did. You're going to have to get it on the replay. But while we're waiting, the new question for the polling is, was Kada Scott set up? So if you guys are in the chat and would like to participate in that poll, please go ahead and participate. I will pull that after this.
Driven by King. That was all the way back on October 4th. Investigators believe King later took Kada Scott's body to an area behind the former Ada H.H. Lewis Middle School in East Germantown. Scott was found on Saturday buried in a shallow grave. Police say Keon King and someone they believe to be an accomplice are seen at that location from cameras on the Aubrey Rec Center, which is next door.
So the Aubrey Rec Center, And I think that if they have a school that's disabled, they should be required. If there's an abandoned building that the government is required to maintain, I think they should have active cameras around those abandoned properties. Michelle gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Oh, good gracious, Lindy Lou, you received that. Congratulations. So thank you, Michelle, for gifting the Bullhorn Betty membership. Lindy Lou, welcome to the... Lindy Lou's been around a while. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. Hey, Allie, I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, folks, so we do understand this is the man that is ultimately responsible for what happened to Kada. We've got a long list of evidence that's racking up against Keon King at this moment. First and foremost, he was speaking to people about her before she disappeared and before she was kidnapped. He is associated with being at her job when she disappeared. He is associated, his phone is with a burning vehicle that was stolen that they believe she was in. And we are now learning the heartbreaking news, the shocking news that Kada didn't survive but 20 minutes alone with this man. Why did he want to kill her so bad? Was he angry because she wouldn't date him? Was he angry because she did date him and ended things with him? Or is he just a creep that found a beautiful lady walking her dog, stalked her, and found out where she worked and stalked her like prey, until he had an opportunity to attack, and he attacked her, assaulted her, arred her, and unalived her because she was too pretty. There's sexual assault in here somewhere. I do believe there's going to be sexual assault associated with this case. That's the only thing that makes sense. Why else would he care? Why else would he want to hurt this woman? Especially if he never dated her. It's because she wouldn't give him the time of day and he wanted her. And he should have been in jail. And the likes of George Soros and the liberal policies in this community killed a beautiful black woman. And that's the facts of this case. That's the reality. And I hope people wake up and vote differently. This could have been your child. It could have. Could have been your child. Let's listen to some of her friends.
I watch on TV and crime shows, scripts. To see this happen to someone so close to me.
Priya is describing what goes through her mind when she thinks about her friend Kada Scott. The two met while attending Penn State University. She says losing Kada has been a nightmare she still cannot fully understand.
It hurts because I kept replaying this in my mind that she didn't even stand a chance. You can give her a week, you can give her a few days, you can give her anything. Everyone was so hopeful that we would find her and she would be alive.
So they're all there knowing that she was killed senselessly within 20 minutes. That to me tells me that she was kidnapped. She was abducted. She was abducted and she was arred. There's no other explanation why a man would do this to such a beautiful black woman. She didn't want shit to do with him because he was a piece of shit. I guarantee that's going to be what it is.
She would be alive.
Just a few weeks ago, she tells us Scott was getting ready to be one of her bridesmaids. Priya sharing this video of Scott excited, trying on the dress she was going to wear.
She was the type of person that she said she was going to do it. She was going to do it. She followed through all the way. And that is just something that I'm really, really proud of her for.
On Tuesday, dozens of community members gathered once again to remember the 23-year-old woman whose life ended too soon. A prayer service was held, along with a balloon release, at the vacant Ada Lewis Middle School near where Scott's body was found.
Kada Scott will always be to me and to us the forever Miss Philadelphia.
community members vowing to keep Scott's memory alive.
We're going to have a law called the Kada Scott Law, so that women, black women, all women who are going through domestic violence will know that we are with them.
Scott went missing on October 4th. Her body was found 2 weeks later. 21-year-old Keon King faces charges for kidnapping Scott and other related offenses.
I'm having a problem with this domestic violence stuff. You know, this maybe my theory is off place, because this whole domestic violence thing seems like there was a relationship of some. I don't like them commingling domestic violence in a case if it's not a domestic violence case, because it's very, very confusing. This sounds like a monster that stalked her, okay? And when we commingle now, granted, I think that she should have a law after her, but is this, you know, if they're making a law, domestic violence law for Kada, this tells me that this was a domestic violence situation. And the only way I can see a domestic violence situation happening is if she had a relationship with this guy. If he's just a random guy that stalked her, they need to have a law for her related to stalking. You know, but they're making a law related to domestic violence, abduction at gunpoint in order to get in the car. Yeah, but there's something here because we know the car was stolen. The 2008 black Hyundai car was stolen on the 3rd, a day before she disappeared, before she was kidnapped. And that's, I think, what's implying or making a lot of us believe that she was set up. That Keon knew what he was doing. He knew when he stole that car that he was going to kidnap Kada and murder her. That's what I feel happened here. You know? Do we know that for a fact? No, we don't. I can only say that it seems interesting. Now, guys, this is going to be, I found this, and I'm going to play this because this, it might get worse than this, okay? I'm preparing you guys as we're going through all of this stuff. We're going to be getting and moving into our second segment. We're going to have to take a break. We've been here for a while, focusing a lot on Kada's case, a lot more time than I had anticipated, but we need to move on to Melodee's case as well. She's a breaking news child that's actively disappeared right now. I believe she's also been met with foul play and has probably not with us anymore, but we want to move on with that case. But here, right here, we're learning that it's possible that Kada was tortured as well. So let's listen to this new information. It's not getting any better. It's actually getting worse. I don't know. This is not coming from an official, well, I don't know if it's coming from, this is coming from a private account that has 154,000 people on it. It's an account called Kiki, K-I-K-I, where she pulled some of this stuff from other articles. But let me just play this here. It's about 8 minutes. I don't think we're going to watch the full 8 minutes. But this is, it says, FBI reveals why Kada Scott was tortured and murdered. Planned setup.
Remains that were found in a shallow grave on the grounds of an abandoned school, and they are believed to be 23-year-old Kada Scott, the Philadelphia woman who has been missing for a couple of days.
Based on a tip that came in last night through the night, investigators began the process of following up on that tip this morning, starting around 10 o'clock this morning, following up on that tip. And the tip was very specific that led us back to this location here today.
When I heard she had been found, I thought she was found alive.
Very, very specific. Very specific. Somebody called in a very specific tip. They were out there, and this was a person that called in a tip previously, sent law enforcement out there, and they didn't find Kada, and they called it back in with a very more specific, like basically X marks the spot, because law enforcement couldn't follow instructions the first time. And I think that's what pissed the community off. The community was getting involved, but there's street in that community, so there's only so much people can do. And if they're going to do stuff, it has to be anonymous because, you know, snitches get stitches.
us back to this location here today.
When I heard she had been found, I thought she was found alive, only to find out that it was her remains that had been found. Jeez. But here's the thing, guys. The police had been in that area for almost a week, and from what I recall, she wasn't hidden well, which means they wouldn't have missed her if she was there when they did their initial...
We went over how I expressed to you that we could have, because it was on my diatribe of bring social media in sooner so we can help find these people. And one of those things is because no matter how many dogs you have out there, what did I tell you? I've been associated with several searches where the body was right there. And dogs drove right past it. Brian Laundrie, one. That's a good one, because I was out there for Brian Laundrie. No vultures, nothing identifying where he was in Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. Out there every day. I was out there every morning before I went to the laundry house and went by there every evening before I went home. Every day, twice a day at Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, searching for Brian Laundrie. Okay? Nothing. Then we had Elijah Vu. Oh, that perfect, Alicia. Elijah Vu, a little 2-year-old boy out in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. They had ATVs, horse, dogs, searchers, everything in this area. At least 5 different searches of this concentrated area, and they could not find Elijah Vu. And then all of a sudden, a hunter goes out there. His hunting dog picks up the scent, finds Elijah Vu, and the case is finally, we finally bring Elijah Vu home. Perfect example of that. Another one, Colin Knapp and Kathleen Moore in Pasco County. I was out there. We went out to behind the house. Now, mind you, this was after an area had already been cleared by law enforcement, and we got, the officer said, we don't mind you going back there. We've already been back there. You're not going to find anything, right? You're not going to find anything. We went back there. There was water moccasins and a pond, but we could tell that this is going to be where they find Kathleen Moore. No vultures, no buzzards. Her body laid out there for days, rolled up on the surface, not even underground, rolled up in a mattress cover. That's it. Rolled up in a mattress cover. That was it. None of those things were picked up by the dog scent, by law enforcement, by multiple searches. And they were right there. That's why whenever I say they need to get this out, they rely on all these resources to help them. And I get that, they all are reliable resources, but they don't all have, high turnover. Like, you're not finding people 50% of the time with dogs. Or helicopters. Helicopters, you find somebody 5% of the times. Dogs, probably 10 or 15% of the time. So you see that the things that we as the public think are going to be the end all be all, we find out through research it's not what we put in our brains as being accurate. Because these things, even the dogs that have these amazing noses, there are environmental issues. It's a very, very highly skilled profession, and those dogs have to be trained regularly. And the dog handlers, sometimes those dog handlers aren't treating their dogs properly when they take them home at night. All right? Those dogs are skilled and trained animals. Yes, they become your friend, but you can't let them sleep in your bed. Okay? They while they are being trained, while they're being used as law enforcement, you've got to kennel them. You've got to keep them as the tools. You can't show them love. I mean, you've got to show them a little bit of love. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but you can't treat them like your family dog, okay? Well, they are reliable. It's just that there's a lot of nuances with them, and that's what people don't understand. There's a lot of things that affect the sense. Like sometimes even the cross-training of dogs can lessen their ability of one or both of the trained items that they're trained in. I personally don't like the cross-training of dogs. I think if you have a bomb-sniffing dog, it needs to be a bomb-sniffing dog. If you have a drug-sniffing dog, it needs to be a drug-sniffing dog. I don't think they need to be commingled with drugs and bombs. I think they need to have specific training. just like cadaver dogs. They even put cadaver in water. It's just, there's a lot of different nuances with dogs and their abilities. But one thing I find out more so than not, it's the training of the dogs. How was the dog originally trained? How is the training going on? Because once they have skilled trainers at these places that train these types of dogs, those are handed over to the sheriff's departments and other handlers, right? And if those other handlers are not doing what they're supposed to do every single day, and they're not going through, or they're barely making their training and testing and stuff like that, yeah, the dog is picking up the marijuana, right? But they're not picking up this, whatever. They may pass their courses, but their trainers are not training them properly after the proper training. That stuff has to be maintained regularly. That is my understanding. And it's very expensive. So I think that's the problem. I don't think that they're not reliable. I think they're reliable in the right conditions. I think they're highly reliable in the right conditions. Like when you go to, for example, we have Jules, the dog handler, that goes into, say, jails to look for substances. Her dogs can find substances, and that's what she does. Okay, great. That dog is trained mostly in substances, but she also brought Era out to help me find and locate, the presumption of human, where the human scent from Caitlin Harp was. So I got to meet Jules. I got to meet her dogs. I got to take them out there. I was hoping to sit out there and film a little bit longer, but we were having some issues. I was having problems with anyways, long story short, I do know that the training of the dogs are very, very, very important, but there are a lot of different factors on why they're ineffective at times and ineffective at other times.
Initial search. You know what this means? Somebody probably had to move that body there and tipped the police. Also, apparently the brother was suspiciously coming out of the nursing home when people were trying to get out. Like, why was her brother coming out of the nursing home while people were trying to go in? Allegedly, the brother also pulled out his bang-bang on them, telling them to get back. And then there's a Gabby that people are also giving...
This must be one of those, I don't think this is real. But this is the girl right here. Her name's Gabrielle Gillett. This was the one I was talking about from Kada. I don't think this seems like an AI version. This is not a good version. I don't believe that. We didn't hear any of that stuff related to the Pew Pew or her brother. I did hear his brother might be involved, that his brother might actually be the co-conspirator, but I don't believe any of the other stuff. Larry Krasner loves criminals, hates tax-paying Philadelphia citizens. This is from AJG225, whoever that is. This murder is squarely on his shoulders. So there's a lot of pushback from Philly citizens, and it's because of who Kada was. I mean, she embodied literally everything that was good, especially in this area where all these, kids are on green and doing stuff and not being good, upstanding citizens and stuff like that. I don't know why it's not playing on here. Every time I come back on here, it stops playing. So here's Kada singing. And then there's the memorial. Real beautiful. Let me see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Real pretty for her. Never brings her back. None of this ever brings any of these victims back. It's awful. It's awful. So we're kind of getting into our next segment. Let me go ahead and get my stuff down here. And get it all situated because it's never... Let me see where I gotta go from here. I think that's it. Okay, so it's... So we're going to be getting on with our new case. Let me go ahead and send out our, so we've got 40 votes. Was Kada set up? 93% believe she was. I'm starting to believe she was too. I'm still, you know what, to be honest with you, I think I'm still going to be very, very, very confused about whether this is a domestic violence or if this is a stalking situation. Now, granted, both could be true, right? It could be stalking and domestic violence, but if I'm confused because there has been no establishment of her dating this man. We still haven't heard. Even the lady that talked talked about that Gabrielle girl, the Gabby girl, right? Gabby Gilbert, I think is what her name is. Gillett, something like that. Whatever her name is. Let me see if I can find her. Hold on, I took a picture of it so I could try to find the thing. Give me just a second. Let me see where the picture is of that. And it looks like Forever Headlines, not to... I think that might be the original one. Hold on, let me pull this back real quick. See if I can find it on TikTok. Maybe we'll play it so you guys can hear it before we move over to Melodee's case. TikTok. Let's see what this was. This is... How? I don't know how to stop this. Why can't I pause it? There we go. Good gracious. I hate when things start blaring in my ear. Okay, so let me look for... Oh, good gracious. Sorry, guys. I get so frustrated. I can't find the thing that moves up or down on here. No, I do not see that on here. It's not the one I want. So let me try the other name I've got on here, which is Forever. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is going to be a little long, but it's what I want you guys to hear. And then we'll get back on it. I'm going to take just, if you guys want to take a little break, I've already watched this. I'm going to take just a little bit of a break to go use the little girl's room, and then we'll be back to go on to Melodee's. But I want you guys to hear this because she will start telling you the breakdown. Write the dates down. She's going to show you guys the receipts of when Dion reached out to her to talk about Kada. This is what's causing me so much problem. Why I'm not understanding is because in this particular story, she's saying Keon reached out to her to talk about Kada, to find out a little more information about Kada. So if that's the case, then this happened a few days before Kada disappeared. It doesn't seem like it's a domestic violence situation. I'm just trying to figure out how it became domestic. You know, it seems like this guy saw her, stalked her, and killed her. And I don't know if that's the case. But here, listen to this. I'll be back. Oh, let me get my microphone off. There we go.
Discussing some of the misinformations that are going around in the internet regarding me and the Kada Scott situation. So if you are unaware, Kada Scott is a girl that went missing in Philadelphia on October 4th. So I did know Keon. He was my friend. I met him about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was also the local pharmacist. Now, me and my best friend, we were also mutual friends with Keon. He was our pharmacist. So one day Keon calls me, and keep in mind, I am in school, I am in Maryland, and he will usually just call me, just to check up and talk. So he calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kada. And he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you. I'm like, yeah, she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because he usually calls me and, we just be chatting. He'll call me about the people that be around because he is the pharmacist. I live in the neighborhood and he be in my neighborhood. So we hang up the phone and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me and this was before Kada went missing. And we were only on the phone for 29 seconds. Also, I know that his name says Elliot in my phone. That's just what we call him. So a couple of days after that, my best friend calls me and, we're just talking about life. And I mentioned to her how Keon brought up Kada to me. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh yeah, like he was probably trying to flirt with her. He's probably trying to get at her. Mind you, me and my best yeah, of it. I'm like, oh yeah, like he was probably trying to flirt with her. He's probably trying to get at her. Mind you, me and my best friend, we know.
So let me go back to the.
His name says Elliot. I know that his name says.
So she's got this box over the date and time, and I don't understand why.
On the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me, and this was going on. So I'm saying, so a couple days maybe I didn't really talk to her. So my personally, because how Keon the day that he called me, and this was before Kada went missing, and we were only.
And it shows she's got this box over the date. I'd like to have seen the freaking date that he called. It has no dates on here. She's showing Elliot. I don't like this. But it's saying he spoke to her for 29 seconds at 8 o'clock, 8:23. But I'm assuming because it says up here 2 days before. But I would like to see the flipping receipt, the actual receipt. Don't block the freaking date. And I don't see that on here, and that's what I was hoping to see.
On the phone for 29 seconds. Also, I know that his name says Elliot in my phone. That's just what we call him. So a couple of days after that, my best friend calls me and, we're just talking about life. And I mentioned to her how Keon brought up Kada to me. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh yeah, like he was probably trying to flirt with her. He's probably trying to get at her. Mind you, me and my best friend, we know Kada because we grew up with her little sister. Now, we didn't know Kada personally because, again, we grew up with her little sister. We were around 12, 11 years old. Kada, she was much older than us. So we didn't really talk to her. So my best friend was like that, Keon was that I called my best friend and told her that, Keon was trying to get at Kada. This is before she went.
And of course her friend's blocked at this point, so they're not friends anymore. I see the big old block button right here, blocked. So wonder about this. And again, it says canceled call. See, it says canceled call. So I don't even know if this is true because it said canceled call here. So she's saying that she called her best friend at this date and time, but it clearly says canceled call here. It says blocked up here. I don't know. But that's the one I'm talking about right there. All right, guys. That's as much as I'm going to put on Kada Scott's case at this moment. Not that it for any other reason. I mean, I got no reason to. Oh, is this? Hold on, let me try. Sorry, I'm trying to get this all fit in. Here we go. So that's kind of where we're at. That girl there is the one that I watched, but I watched it on my phone. Actually, I didn't. Yeah, I watched it on my phone, but I watched it on Pascal. That's how I learned of it. And so I was watching Pascal when this girl was expressing all the stuff, and I had already previously watched the other girl walking around the neighborhood, showing us where Kada lived, where Keon lived, or where he hung out rather, and then like walked up to the store and stuff. That's how I was able to determine that area was actually a lot nicer than I had thought, because I had been told by other people that there was, especially by the assisted living facility, that was kind of a rundown area. And I actually heard from people in the chat the other day that was actually a nicer area than many people might believe, that there was a lot of money in that area. So I'm like in the Chestnut Hill area, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is different from what I was told about the community, because again, I'm from Florida. I don't know Pennsylvania. The only thing I know about Pennsylvania that I don't like so far is the governor and the fact that you're required to maintain your own damn roads. I don't like that. Okay. Here in Florida, we pay taxes. The majority of our taxes go into the maintenance of our roads, I don't go out here and maintain my road. My county does. So I didn't understand that. So those are the only two things that I know about Pennsylvania that I don't really like. Other than that, everything else, I don't know. I don't know where things are. You hear things, you hear like even Chicago. You hear that Chicago is horrible. Well, you know what? Downtown Chicago, it's pretty elite. There's some areas in Chicago that are really, really nice, and you wouldn't know it by what you hear on the news. You think the whole place is a freaking ghetto and bang, bang up, but that's not the case. So we do have those situations. So what a sad story. 23-year-old woman goes to work, never goes home, was abducted and murdered within 20 minutes of, it sounds like, arriving at work. Remember how they kept saying 20 minutes? She was at work for 20 minutes. I think she arrived at work and was immediately abducted. There's something about the job. Remember I told you there's just something that's not making sense to me here with this job. It's not making, how do they not know when she left? Did she immediately left when she got there? I don't think she ever went into the building. I think that's the problem. I think everybody thought she did. I don't think she went into the building and left. I don't think she clocked in. I think she pulled up and she was immediately abducted. I think that's what makes sense here, but I don't know. I mean, they're holding a lot of stuff back. We don't even know the cause and manner of death. We don't know if she was shot, strangled. I'm going for strangulation. The terror she had to have gone through. 20 minutes. He killed her in 20 minutes. Just remember, Josh Shapiro does not like the death penalty in your state. I think you need a new governor. After cases like this, when you hear of a governor not wanting to put somebody like this where they belong, it's time for you guys to get a new governor in Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro ain't it, okay? He's not it. And I've never understood how a Jewish person can be with Democrat Party with as much disdain as they have for the Jewish people. Seems like an oxymoron to me. But it seems like obviously he's more involved in his politics than he is in his religion. So again, another thing I just don't like. All right, enough of my opinions on politics, on this, on that. We're going to be getting back to factual information. We have another child right now that is missing. I don't even know how to take this case either, right? This is Melodee Buzzard. It sounds like she's been ripped from her family's lives for years. Sounds like her mother wants her to have zero to do with anybody other than herself. Why? I don't know. We don't know what happened when she was born. I did hear that her father lost his life in a motorcycle accident about 6 months after she was born. So mom's had to deal with the loss of her father and raising her daughter. Now, I heard the family took Melodee away from the mother previously, and this caused a lot of tension in the family, and is the reason why when Melodee went back into the custody of her mother, why her mother did not want her around any family. I'm sure she was fearful that they would try to take her again, and so she didn't have to take them around. Okay, Ruby, have a great day, love. She didn't have to take him around her and wasn't required to, and so she didn't. It seems like there was a lot of financial problems that her mother, Ashlee, was going through. We've learned of at least 2 different court hearings, or at least one service of process for a Capital One card. There was another a credit card company coming after her. Now, those are unsecured debts. Folks, if you guys have unsecured debt, that means a credit card that's not secured by a car or a house or something like that, I wouldn't worry about it. The worst thing they're going to be able to do is damage your credit rating, okay? It's not going to, it's not going to, if you stop paying it, they're not going to shut your lights off, okay? Not that I'm telling you not to pay your credit. You always want to pay your credit, but maybe reducing down to minimum payment. But if you're broke and you have a choice between buying food or paying your credit card, buy food. Screw the credit card companies. Even if you have to go to court, so what? So what? What's the worst thing they're going to tell you? Oh, you owe us this much money? You You have an opportunity to file bankruptcy. There's a lot of stuff out there to you. You can go on payment plans, or you can force them to prove that you opened that credit card to begin with. For example, there was a lot of credit cards that my ex-husband opened up in my name. I was completely unaware of it, okay? Probably opened them up on his phone or his computer or whatever. I didn't know. I found out about certain things because he was responsible for paying off the credit cards as part of our divorce settlement, which he didn't do. And that's when I started finding out about how many credit cards were in my name that I had no idea. Well, if you guys remember, back in 2022, I was being sued by a credit card company. And I'm like, why am I being sued? This is not my responsibility. It's not, I never signed up for this. I never put my name on this. Why is my name on this credit? Right? How did my name get on this? How are you guys suing me? This is not my credit card. This is my husband's credit card, but I had no authorization for it. I didn't have any choice whether it was open. I have no ability to close it, and you're coming after me for money. So they sued me. They sent me a service of process, and so I sent them an email to their attorneys and everything else because I wanted to make sure that there was documentation. Please send me all the evidence you have against me. You know? And so they're required. They have notification that I received their subpoena to appear in court. And now, as a pro se litigant, I want you to send me the discovery that you have against me. And they didn't send anything. And so I walked into court and I was prepared to tell the judge that I don't care if they serve me or not. I requested discovery and they failed to provide it to me. So I can challenge it. And when I get to court, the plaintiffs, the ones that were suing me, never showed up. They never showed up for my hearing. Why? Because they knew it was a farce. It wasn't my credit card. I didn't open the credit card. My husband opened the credit card. He may have had me as a signer, but I didn't take on any credit responsibility. I didn't sign any paperwork. I never dotted a dotted line. You know, that's not my debt. It was business debt. Go after my ex-husband. So they were required to throw that out of court. I never heard from them again. You know, we had stalkers from hate channels that went to that court hearing, wanted to stalk me, and then turn around and say that they weren't stalking me. Yeah, and then I have a whole nother hidden true crime podcast. Her name's Laura. I learned of her recently. And apparently she came out on a 9-hour podcast about how she's been stalked. And everybody is calling her a liar. And it's like, you guys heard them call me a liar for years about what I was going through, even though you guys were watching it happen. Called a liar for years. And I'm sick and tired of it. So I've kind of went up, I don't know what's going on. I'm not looking under the hood. I don't care. At the end of the day, when somebody is screaming, being bullied and being stalked, you don't double down and start going after them 10 times harder. What you do is you leave them the fuck alone. And what's going on is Turtle Boy's going after her. His clique of people are going after her. I went on there being, just voicing my opinion. All of his people want to attack me, call me every name under the book because I just said, hey, you guys need to leave this lady alone. Going after her doesn't make you look good. And that's what I said. I wasn't mean to them. I didn't sit out there and throw profanities or tell them to get bent. I spoke from the heart because this is something that I went through myself. I know what it feels like. I know how unnerving it is. What they put me through. The mentality of it. The PTSD from it. It's awful. It's awful. When I came on these platforms, you guys saw me outside everywhere. You saw me outside of this house. You saw me at events. You saw me everywhere. These people made me a recluse in my own home. You think that's fair? Do you think that's fair? It's not. And when I came out publicly, they sent all their people over here to harass me and tell everybody that I was lying. Still, all these years later, I maintain the same truth. All these years later, I maintain the same truth. And so when I hear people jumping on the bandwagon and telling me that Laura's lying, I don't believe it. Because I came out here and told the people the truth the same way she did, and everybody erupted saying it's Betty being Betty. And come to find out, the truth is in the pudding. They stalked me. They stalked me at my home. They stalked me at court. They stalked me whenever I was out of town. They sent all their people to follow me, watch me, and report back. That's unlawful and it's illegal. It's a felony. It's a felony. All for clicks and views. All for clicks and views. So when I hear Lauren from Hidden True Crime Podcast say that, and I see people attacking her because of it, it makes me sick. Even if she wasn't being truthful, even if she was being truthful, I don't care. At the end of the day, all these people, I don't know. I don't live her life. But I also know that people don't live my life, and I know what I went through, and nobody wanted to believe me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to believe her. I'm going to believe her. And anybody that wants to continue to pick on her, you guys are bullies. If you want to continue to talk about her, you are the problem. Leave her alone. Even if she is lying, it doesn't matter. Clearly, something's happening to her that you don't know about because you're not in her life. It's so easy sitting out here and being somebody and saying, oh, look at how she's acting. She must not be going through that. Do you know how many times I came up here every single day, wiped the tears off my eyes, and put a smile on my face to do my show? No, nobody has a clue. Years, 2 years I had to do that with everything I was going through. Because every time I spoke up about what was happening to me, it got worse. And if you don't believe me, you can ask my mods, because they had to go through with this with me. And the only way we could talk about it was in chat rooms behind scenes. Because we were terrified if they found out this or they found out that, what they would truly do to me. How they would do this, how they would spin this, how they would call me a liar. So I'm going to stand with Lauren. And I hope Aiden, Turtle Boy, learns that he cannot continue to act like this to everybody that pushes him away, does not like him. You don't have to act like a complete utter buffoon and animal to everybody that rejects you or doesn't want anything to do with you or says your name in any type of criticism way like me. He might attack me from saying this for all I know. I don't know. I really don't care. Okay? It won't be the first time, won't be the last. I got thick skin and I can handle it. But I'm very disappointed that he chose to continue down this road. I'm very disappointed that he continues over and over and over again to attack women. If women want to continue to support Turtle Boy, then continue to support him. But just understand you're supporting a man that likes to abuse women. And I'm going to say that because I tried to reach out to him in a diplomatic way. And his entire crew wanted to jump down my shit. So, okay, well, you have to deal with the crap you create and what your audience creates for you. Kind of how it works. Now, many of you guys know me and Turtle Boy push a lot of the envelopes when we're out there. We will put a camera in your face. We will follow the law and be in public areas when we let you know we're here. There is a lot of stuff that I felt went way overboard with, but in all fairness is still lawful. And he went to jail for doing lawful stuff, whether they liked it or not. Those people had every opportunity to get a restraining order or anything else against him. They chose not to, but then the law enforcement decides to say that he's stalking them. I find that bullshit. Because he is social media. At the end of the day, he's still an independent journalist. And this is something that our country, these bonehead people, are going to have to deal with. I can say I do not like how Aiden, or whatever his name is, Turtle Boy, is acting. But I hope he stops. And I hope he doesn't come after me, because I will tell you right now, Turtle Boy, I will destroy you like there's no tomorrow. And I'll do it in my sleep. Just don't fuck with me. I'm just speaking my truth. If you want to bring your 1 million followers over here to rock my world, I'm going to rock your world. I'm just saying, don't fuck with me. Just take it as criticism, leave it as criticism, and leave it be. But whenever I hear of a woman saying she's been stalked and people are calling her a liar like they did me, I believe her. Because nobody believed me, and I was telling the truth. My story's never changed. Not even one little bit. My story's never changed. All right, guys, Melodee. Melodee is a little girl that has been disappeared. The good news about this case is we heard that people haven't seen her for, over a year. So when we first started this case, we were thinking of another Harmony Montgomery. Let's be honest, we were. We were fearful that we were going to have another Harmony Montgomery on our hands where she had been gone for over a year and nobody knew that she was missing. The good news is we hear that there was a neighbor across the street that has seen the child. I believe this witness, so we do have corroboration that she was seen. She was also registered in school back in August, so it sounds like some school officials saw this child in August. So we went from her being missing for a year to us finding out that she was seen in August to us finding out that she is now been observed on October 7th, 2025. She was reported missing on October 14th. Her mom was going through a lot of financial problems. It appears from everything that I'm gathering through a bunch of different sources, there was a lot of boxes in her garage. I am very concerned about a couple things. So I learned, we looked at the house, we saw that she has a 2-car garage going, on the house. Well, we found out that there is no access to the garage from the inside. I thought that was really odd. And then behind the garage, you can see fresh drywall. I don't like that. And nobody's entertained that fresh drywall. I've never heard of a garage not having access to the house when it's attached to the house. Usually when it's a standalone garage, it's not attached to the house, or when the garage was built after the house was built, sometimes they don't attach an inside door. But you can tell that construction of that home in that garage appear to be at the same time of construction, which tells me there would have been a door going from inside that house to that garage. So when you look at the photo, you see that there's fresh drywall. I don't like that. We have a child missing and we have fresh drywall in the house, and we have a mom going from inside the house to the outside of the house, washing clothes in the garage and going back into the house. We heard that she's got a big pink suitcase. We hear that the garage is wall to wall with boxes. Many people believe the mom's preparing to go on the run or move out of that house shortly after her daughter is missing. Now remember, Ashlee is not the one that reported her daughter missing. So what happened, what we have learned happened here, is her daughter was in homeschooling. Nobody's seen her daughter for whatever reason. I looked at pictures of her mother. Her mother looks very ill. I will tell you that. From the pictures that are on our thumbnail of her mom from several years ago that looks just like a spitting image of her. Well, people got that image of her opening the door and cleaned it up because it was from such a far angle. She's very thin. The mom is not as chunky as she was in the photo that we're seeing. She's tiny. Her face is I mean, she's half the woman she was in the thumbnail, in my opinion. Now, granted, that could be the angle, the fact it was so far away, and the AI that helped clean it up. But it's not the first time I saw this photo of her. I couldn't understand who was that, because it didn't look like her. And come to find out, that is the mother. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, the mom looks so thin. I don't know if it's mental illness or if it's drug abuse. It could be both, for all I know. But I digress. I have a problem with that drywall being there. Now, granted, she's alone from what we're hearing. I could have sworn I heard she was with another man and had multiple kids by that man. So you can imagine how perplexed I am right now, because I don't know where the other children are. Is there other children? Because she said there was another sibling. I thought she had a family with another man. Aw. Look at common sense. Crank it up. It's nice to see ya. Nice to see ya. This case reminds me of 3-year-old Claire Bell from Ontario, where the mom left her on the side of the highway in June. Thankfully, she was found 3 days later. How do parents do that? I just don't understand. They treat these children like an animal. You can just go drop them off on the side of the road. Like, what is wrong with people? How do you do that to your flesh and blood? That's the part I don't understand. How do you do that to a piece of you? You have to hate yourself an awful lot to do that to a piece of yourself, you know? It's hard. It's hard. I don't understand. Claire Bell's mom was having mental issues too. Well, maybe she dropped her off. But hopefully we got some people in Nebraska. Hopefully they're running this news in Nebraska. Like what? You know, I've been tagging Nebraska in all of this stuff, but right now we're being shadow banned because I ran content on Charlie Kirk, and apparently our oligarchs on these social media platforms approve Charlie Kirk getting a bullet in the neck. You know, they don't want us saying anything good about Charlie Kirk without us paying for it. So I'm going to pay for it, and I'm going to pay for it every single day. I'm going to make sure that my advocacy is in the, we're hashtagging the shit out of this. YouTube will not win. Okay, Bullhorn Betty is going to wrestle with YouTube, and Bullhorn Betty is going to be successful because I know things about algorithms. And guess what? I'm plugging my hashtags in. You'll never be able to screw with my political stuff again. After I'm through this, YouTube. YouTube is a freaking joke. It's a joke. Tell me, oh, well, you did do these Charlie Kirk things. I was on, and I'm texting him, says, so you're punishing me for political commentary? Oh, no, we're not doing that. It's because it showed that you know, you had a lot of additional viewers that never came back to your, and it tells the algorithm this. I don't care what it tells your algorithm. I call bullshit. It sounds to me like I ran several stories on Charlie Kirk, and you guys don't like it, and you're punishing me for it. That's what it looks like. That's what I said in the chat. And they start sending me all these don't send me fucking articles. Undo whatever the hell you did to my freaking account, which they won't do. Right? I have to roll through it for 30 days. Well, fuck you, YouTube. I'm going to keep saying that. You want to keep shadow banning? Keep shadow banning me. It's not going to get better. It's going to end up getting worse. I can guarantee that. Because after this, what comes next is freaking lawsuits. And trust me, I plan on finding a class action lawsuit, because when I go after YouTube, I'm not going after for me. So YouTube can play it. I'm playing a game. We're on day 23. Day 31, things better start changing. Or I'm going to start filing lawsuits. I'm tired of it. I don't care. I'm going to find ways to get this sponsored. If I've got to get a political PAC, a 503(1)(c), whatever, the nonprofit, whatever I've got to do, I will be putting together, because I'm putting it in my head. If I keep being censored by these social media oligarchs because they don't like my political commentary, it's time to start taking the gloves off, and it's time to start building a legal team. There is nobody better at this stuff behind the scenes than Bullhorn Betty. I promise you that. You will find out. We will build an elite A team that's going to start going after social media. Start sending out these cease and desist letters. We will start getting, I know how to build a law firm, okay? I did it once before. Oh, Betty, you're just an assistant. Yeah. Well, you know who my boss was? My boss owned a bunch of properties. You know, during the mortgage, you know, where our entire mortgage thing tanked, he had over 400 and something properties. You know what he did? He's not an attorney. So what did he do? His illegal expenses were getting so blessed expensive that he built a law firm so he could get free legal work. And basically what he did is he built this law firm. He hired an attorney to run the law firm. He had managers that built the law firm, and he got all his legal expenses free while charging all the people that we brought aboard money to help pay for it. Very smart guy. Learned a lot from him. And he's not, believe it or not, he was never from this country either. He was never from this country. At least I don't think he was. I think he was from, I can't remember what country he was from, but he was very smart, very fortunate to be with him, and to get to learn from somebody like that. Can you imagine having such legal expenses? Your legal expenses are getting so high that it's cheaper for you to build a law firm. That is classic. I mean, he was able to get a few free and clear properties. So, I mean, you know, he went through the punches. He built this law firm. He was there every day managing the law firm, managing his portfolio of and I mean, I think he had thousands of properties. This guy was, I mean, he drove around in a freaking Ferrari. I mean, he had it was a Lamborghini. It was a Lamborghini. What, isn't that the ones that have the doors that go up? It was a Lambo. I know it was a Lambo because I remember he got into a car wreck and his whole side was bruised. And I remember that I think his Lamborghini was something like, it was totaled. And I want to say it was like $120,000 Lamborghini or something like that. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. He got another one. All right, so Melodee Beatty, 9-year-old girl, we did find out she was with her mom October 7th. We don't know if she was deceased at that point or if she was healthy. It sounds like her mother rented a car. Where her mother got the money to rent the car, we don't know. We don't know where the mother works. We know nothing. We're in here, we're trying to find a baby, a 9-year-old baby, and we have no information about mom. Media's not giving us any information about mom. Law enforcement not giving us any information about mom. Does anybody know any information about mom? If anybody knows any information about mom, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I would greatly appreciate it. I know nothing about her. I don't know where she works, if she works. I don't know if she's married. Let me see if we can find out. Let's see. Let's go to Grok. Grok, see, now, you know what? I got a new one. I got a new one. It's Perplexity. Let's see what Perplexity has. Please provide me any information about the missing 9-year-old girl out of Santa Barbara, California, that goes by the name of Ashlee Buzzard. Her mother, Ashlee, damn it. Okay, Melodee, spelled her name wrong. Buzzard. Okay, so what is it? Please provide me any information about missing 9-year-old girl at Santa Barbara, California, that goes by the name of Ashlee Buzzard. What is her mother's history? Ashlee Buzzard. Let's see what it says. I'm trying a new one. We have, we usually have, oh, it even gives me, I like that. Perplexity gives me some photos of her, some sources. Nice. Here's what it says. It says 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard is currently missing from Santa Barbara County, California, having last been seen with her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, as recently as October 7th, 2025, according to law enforcement statements. Authorities believe the two may have traveled in a rented white Chevy Malibu, potentially as far as Nebraska, but Ashlee Buzzard is not cooperating with the investigation and has not provided any information about Melodee's presence present location or well-being. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office and the FBI are both involved in the ongoing search, which was triggered after school officials reported Melodee's prolonged absence. Melodee had been homeschooled or enrolled in independent study for the past few years, and detectives narrowed the last confirmed sighting to August 2025 by school staff. So the school staff laid eyes on her on August 2025, although they believed she was with Ashlee, or they believe she was with Ashlee on October 7th. The investigation began after the Lompoc Unified School District noticed Melodee was not attending or checking in, causing concern about her welfare. Law enforcement has asked the public not to conduct their own searches and to avoid interfering with official investigations. So Ashlee Buzzard's background, this is what it's saying for me, says Ashlee Buzzard has a history described by family members as fraught, with accusations that she has refused to let the extended family see Melodee for years. Reports indicate that Ashlee is extremely mentally unstable and has a long history of mental health issues, as described by both family members and media outlets. Public records show financial instability. Ashlee filed for bankruptcy in 2017 and has since been involved in multiple debt collection cases. There has been no recent photo of Melodee, and authorities have said Ashlee did not file the required homeschool paperwork with the state for private school affidavit, raising concerns about Melodee's welfare at the legitimacy of her homeschooling arrangements. This seems like so much that this should have been known long before it was. And California, just remember California, the piece of crap state that doesn't care about crime, doesn't care about anything. All they care about is being popular. Melodee's father died in a crash when she was an infant, leaving Ashlee as a primary caregiver. Extended family members and half-sibling have spoken out, expressing concern for Melodee. Authorities continue to urge anyone with information. So it doesn't, I could have sworn I heard that she had other children, that she had other relationships and other children in the relationships, and I'm not seeing that. So if you guys can find the information, I'd greatly appreciate it. But so Ashlee Buzzard may have driven Melodee in a white Chevrolet Malibu outside of Santa Barbara, possibly as far as Nebraska. I think we read that yesterday. And here is an update from Nancy Grace that I wanted you guys to hear.
Where is this little girl? Where is Melodee? How could she be gone a year and just reported missing? Or was she?
Timeline was very sketchy, and mom is not giving any information at all. She will not answer the door. She will not answer questions. Is Melodee okay? Are you okay? She said, I hope you and your kids are well, and she shut the door.
The bizarre disappearance of a little girl.
The FBI is looking for her. They're trying to find her. No one has seen her.
Where is she? Why did the school have to report her missing?
That is another great point, folks. The school reported this child missing. The mother never reported this child missing. That is a very critical factor in this situation. Why? Because you know darn good and well, every single time we have a case where the significant person that should have made a report didn't make the report, those cases never turn out well. We have a long history of that, and those cases never turn out well.
Where is Melodee? Please help us find this girl. Elizabeth Mesa, this is Melodee's aunt. Miss Mesa, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So this is the aunt. I'm assuming I didn't listen to this before we came on here, or if I did, I didn't realize it. I did watch all, I just want to put this out here. I did watch all of Nancy Grace's video about Melodee yesterday. Last night we came on live once we realized the FBI is involved in this case, and we were doing a live, and during that live we realized that Nancy Grace was about to go live. We wanted to hear, so we went ahead and broke and went over there to watch the case, to watch what Nancy Grace has come up with, and she did have a little bit of new information on that. I can't remember exactly what. I didn't write it on notes, which is what reminds me, when I do things at night. By writing it down, it sparked something in my brain the next day. I didn't write it down, so I can't remember the talking points I was going to have for it. I was going to go live after Nancy Grace, but me and Delilah kind of got into something and got sidetracked. Next thing you know, I'm ready for bed. So that's kind of what happened. In my opinion, she looks young. She is in this photo. You're right. She does look a lot younger, YouTuber, because you're correct. All these photos are younger. We have no recent photos of her. Even the photo on my thumbnail, it's at least a year or two old. Okay, we don't know. We don't know how old it is. But it definitely does not depict what Melodee looks like this day and age. There's no photos of her. Something's not right here. If she's alive, she was sold.
I'm so grateful that someone in Melodee's family is speaking out on her behalf. There she is. I recognize that outfit. That's a Dorothy outfit from Wizard of Oz. Must be a little Halloween or a costume party of some sort. Look at this little girl.
That looks like grandparents behind her. That does not look like her mom behind her. So we did hear that the family, again, even in the notes that I just read, none of it talks about when she was outside of her mother's care, but we're hearing that a grandparent was raising this child, had custody of this child until the courts gave this child back to her mother, Ashlee, and this is what sparked all of the family feuds inside that home. And why, once she got her daughter back, she wouldn't let the family see her. But I'm seeing nothing. I don't know where I read that. I read that early on in this case. And now when I do any of my chat GPTs or Perplexity or any other AI stuff, it misses all that information. So if you guys have that information, please send it to me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Guys, have you seen her? Tip line 805-681-4150. Repeat, 805-681-4150. Straight back out to Elizabeth Mesa joining us. This is Melodee's aunt. Miss Mesa, how can this be? I don't understand how a child cannot be seen for a year and only just being reported missing, but is that accurate? Isn't it true Melodee was homeschooled?
Yes, so when we found out last Tuesday, the investigator reached out and was asking questions and, about her whereabouts. So to hear that she was missing was completely mind-blowing, and to find out she was homeschooled by the mom, and the last time anybody seen her was a year, and then it turned out to be 2 months ago was the last time that the school had seen her. So the timeline was very sketchy, and mom is not giving any information at all.
Speaking of mom, are you or is anyone within the family in touch with the mom?
So she answered the door for my niece, Karina, which is Melodee's sister on her dad's side. She opened the door and answered very little.
So it was Melodee's sister that went to the door? This guy must have been much older. Because I've heard that was Melodee's sister, or excuse me, Ashlee's sister, but the way they're describing it here is the lady that went to the door was actually Melodee's sister. And she looked like an adult. Let's go back and listen to this.
Sister on her dad's side. She
within the family in touch with the mom.
So she answered the door for my niece, Karina, which is Melodee's sister on her dad's side.
Yeah.
She opened the door and answered very little. questions, but as far as anybody else, no, she will not answer anybody. She will not answer the door. She will not answer questions.
Now, what do you mean she answered the door, but she wouldn't answer question?
I know it sounds weird, Nancy, but she stood there very stoic with a very stone look on her face. And my niece asked her, "Where's Melodee? If she's okay." And she said, "Why now? Why now?"
Oh, that does not sound good. Oh my goodness, that does not sound good. That does not sound good. Stone face and say, "Why now? Why now?" Like, where were you guys last week? That doesn't sound good, folks. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. That's not what you want to hear. It's not what you want to hear.
And my niece asked her, "Where's Melodee? If she's okay?"
I think she's dead.
And she said, "Why now? Why now?" And my niece said, "Well, we couldn't get a hold of you. We had no address. We had no phone number." And she said, "Well, there's a reason for that." And my niece just kept asking her, "Is Melodee okay? Are you okay?" And she said, "I hope you and your kids are well." And she shut the door.
So you got nothing out of her. Guys, we're showing you shots of Melodee.
I'm telling you, that behavior from that mother being described that way. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Right now. She's been missing. We don't know how long. So. We're not sure. She actually is missing. But I do know this. Again, guys, with me, family member Elizabeth Mesa joining us. This is her aunt. A staff.
That just doesn't sound... I'm sorry. It just doesn't sound good. I mean, why now? Why now? That's to me, almost a confession. You guys don't understand. When I heard that, that was almost a confession. She didn't want the family around her. Then she's yelling, where were you? Well, we've been trying to get a hold of you. Well, there's a reason for that. What? So you're mad that your family's not around. You're mad that they weren't there to help you. But you intentionally didn't want them there and didn't want them to know where you were to help you. What? You want people to jump through hoops to try to find you and help you? What is mental illness? They said mental illness, so we got to remember that there might be some major mental illness. But when I start seeing people, listen, you guys hear my three: alcohol, substances, or abuse. You don't hear mental illness as a part of those. There's a reason. There are 3 things that make a normal person do terrible things and be a terrible person: substances, alcohol, or violence in the home. You've never heard me say there was a 4th one of mental illness. Those have always been the 3. Those have always been the 3 since we developed this channel. Those were the 3. So far, we haven't found those. We found mental illness, which is not part of the equation. So there's still stuff to be found in this story.
Out of her. Guys, we're showing you shots of Melodee right now. She's been missing. We don't know how long. We're not sure. She actually is missing. But I do know this. Again, guys, with me, family member Elizabeth Mesa joining us. This is her aunt. A staffer at her elementary school realized that Melodee had not been there. Well, she's homeschooled, but they have these little programs that the homeschooled children take part in, right? And so the school doesn't see her every day like you would a child enrolled in regular school. But when Melodee had missed several of these get-togethers with the homeschool children, you know, like field trips to the planetarium or the zoo, the staffers at the elementary school got concerned. And that is when it all came bubbling up. So to you, Miss Mesa, again, thank you for being with us, because we've tried really hard to get in touch with family members. When did you first realize Melodee was missing?
So we first realized or found out last Tuesday. I believe that was the 14th, when the CWS investigator called me asking if I know her whereabouts. And I had asked him, is my niece okay? And he told me, I can't answer that because it's an open investigation. And he said, we're just looking for her whereabouts. And I gave him all the information that I knew, and I let him know that the last time physically we seen her, the family, was about 4.5 years ago when her mom brought her to my mother-in-law's house for us to see her. And at that time, Nancy, she was acting very strange. She had shaved her head down. I mean, she had like a buzz cut, and she had a hoodie on. The mom, Ashlee, did.
I'm telling you, we're gonna find out there's substances. I guarantee we're gonna find substances, not alcohol, substances.
And she was acting very strange, and my mother-in-law had told her, if you don't want to leave her here, she could stay here, because she was playing with my kids. And Ashlee looked and she said, I can't do this. And she grabbed her and they left. And that was the last time that we seen her.
And isn't it true, Miss Mesa, you guys have a really big family, a big loving family, and everybody wants to take care of Melodee, but the mom wouldn't let you.
Yes, that's correct. My husband, his family is very large. I mean, and so loving and opening. And Karina is her sister, like I said, on her dad's side. Her dad passed away 9 years ago in a tragic motorcycle accident. And she's always wanted a relationship.
Are you talking about
with his
Rubiel?
sister. Yes, my brother-in-law, Rubiel.
Melodee's dad, Rubiel, died in a motorcycle crash, and that was 2016. So
Yes.
It's just her and the mom. Now, was Melodee always homeschooled?
Well, we just found that out, Nancy. We had no contact with her.
I wish they would just answer the question. I would assume the answer is no. She wasn't always homeschooled, but
Like I said, the last time we were informed that she was removed from the mother's care.
so she was removed from the mother's care. Okay, there it is. So we got removed from the mother's care at some point. I knew I heard that. Let me write this down. At some point. I'll have to hone in on that.
And we all tried to, get her, she could be with me, she could be with, whoever they would allow her to be. And then she was finally able to be placed with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they had her for quite some time. I don't know exactly how long. And then the state came back and they removed her, and they told us that she was going to be adopted by the family that had her before, or something like that. It was just so off. They wouldn't give information either.
There's just something wrong. It's California. I hate California laws. I hate California. Not the beautiful state it is, or the beautiful people that reside in the state. The beautiful people that reside in the state, not the ugly people. But they're not a good state. They're not a good state for crime. They're not a good state for family. They're not a good state for, not unless you have money. I mean, if you have money, any state's good for you, right? You can buy whatever you need to buy. But for the rest of the people like me, like you, we don't have that kind of money, right? So we don't live in the upper echelons of our society. We live in the medium to low echelons of our society, and just to see over and over again, Department of Children and Family Services involved in this case, realizing that they had to remove a child from this case, constantly giving children back to these terrible parents, just like Jaden Spicer, right? All these kids keep going back to the families. Look at Oakley Carlson, right? Another one. Forced back in the family by terrible judges that need to be held accountable for the atrocities and the crimes against humanity. We need to start going after these judges, these radical judges, for crimes against humanity. They want to make our law enforcement accountable when they accidentally, in split seconds, make a decision, an accident that hurts somebody or costs somebody their life. Well, they have to face going to jail for making a mistake, while judges get on here and can kill kids with their policies and their rulings and have zero accountability to the policies and the rulings that they are providing that are causing these children to lose their lives. We've got to start getting to these judges. We've got to start finding ways to easily either impeach these judges or find a way, a mechanism that gets these judges off the bench. These are terrible judges. There are a lot of good judges out there that are overlooked by these activist judges, because these activist judges are paid and bought in slimy Soros money. We see it all over the country. I think George Soros has got to be tagged and flagged as a man against a man. He needs to be a terrorist. He needs to be flagged as a terrorist. George Soros is a terrorist here in America, okay? I don't care who he is, where he is, what family he's... The whole entire family is a corrupt organization. They need to get the hell out of the United States. And I pray to God that they do. But until then, we're stuck with these judges that keep putting these children in harm's way. Now, I see that, we have Vinnie Politan here, and I guess this is from his closing argument, so I'm going to have to find it, but I tried to find it, couldn't find it, and I wanted to tell you I am actively looking for it. The FBI is assisting. It sounds to me like they actually can, because it was over state lines. It sounds like they'll be able to take jurisdiction over this case if they so chose, and I wish that they would. I also wanted to read you guys a statement that I had put on X earlier today, and it says, in quiet heart of Vandenberg Village, California, a little girl named Melodee Buzzard, a bright-eyed 9-year-old with dreams as vast as the starry sky above Space Force Base, has been missing since early August 2025. Her absence stretches like an unbearable shadow over her family and community. Last glimpse on October 7th, possibly in a white Chevrolet Malibu rented with her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, who has tragically refused to share any details that could guide rescuers to her safe return. Melodee tugs at the deepest strings of our shared humanity. Reports suggest that they may have traveled as far as Nebraska, but without her mother's cooperation, every lead feels like a whisper in the wind. Oh, sweet Melodee, with your innocent laughter, we can only imagine echoing through playgrounds and family gatherings you were so long kept from. Know that you are not forgotten. Your Aunt Vicky, half-sister Karina, and growing chorus of neighbors, strangers, turned advocates are holding vigils outside of your home, their signs reading, "Where is Melodee?" As Facebook groups swell with daily searches and unyielding hope, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, alongside with the FBI and Lompoc Unified School District, who first raised the alarms over your prolonged absence, pledges to leave no stone unturned, urging anyone with sightings since October 7th to call detectives at 805-681-4150 or by anonymous tip to 805-681-4171. This moment, let me finish reading it. Let me scroll down. This moment of profound worry, let us wrap Melodee in collective prayer and determination. May she feel the warmth of the world that arches for her return, safe and whole. To Ashlee, if these words reach you, your daughter's light deserves every chance to shine. Please help us bring her home. Our hearts beat as one for Melodee today and every day until she is found. So there is that. And then California authorities are trying to track down 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard. It says it appears she was seen earlier in the month, which is good news. At least we hope. We don't know what kind of condition. We heard on Nancy Grace of this knock. This is Melodee's sister, which is shocking to me. This is Melodee's sister. This is the 9-year-old girl's sister right here. I thought this was her mother's sister, because it says Ashlee Buzzard is mom of 9-year-old girl Melodee, who spent, Ashlee's not cooperating. Oh, I thought it said first citing Ashlee Buzzard as sister begs her to speak to her. So I guess I misread that, because it says sister begs her to speak to her. So this is Melodee's sister, the 9-year-old sister. Ashlee's stepdaughter, if you will.
Do you have the time to speak with me? Ashlee did not give any information on where Melodee might be, but she did say that she is overwhelmed and stressed, and she did not appreciate her sister coming over when she did not wish to speak to her.
Wait, this is my number right here. If you ever want to talk to me, I want a relationship with Melodee, please. Please, Ashlee. Is she okay? Are you okay? Ashlee, I'm going to get going now. In that side of the family either. And I would love to have a relationship with Melodee and you.
All I can say is Ashlee sounds like a piece of shit. I don't know what else to say other than she sounds like a real piece of shit. So Ashlee, if you're watching this, yeah, we don't like your kind. I can tell you that. You should have reached out for help. Now you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life. Lompoc, California. News of Melodee Buzzard missing. Is this on here right? Oh, it is. Good. Okay, good. Lompoc, California. News of Melodee Buzzard's missing child case has deeply affected our entire community. In our shared concern, we remain focused on actions that support the ongoing investigation. Our primary focus is to close collaboration with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office in their continued efforts related to this case. We are aware of misinformation circulating suggesting that Melodee has been missing since 2024 and that no action was taken by the district. This information is inaccurate. To keep the focus on the ongoing investigation, we want to provide facts about Melodee's recent enrollment and the proactive steps taken by Lompoc Unified staff. We value transparency. At the request of law enforcement, we're not able to share this information sooner. We appreciate our staff's care, vigilance, and procedural follow-through, which accelerated the appropriate next steps. Melodee was first enrolled in Lompoc Unified School Districts just 2 months ago, in August 2025, when Melodee and her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, visited Mission Valley Independent School to initiate her registration. Mission Valley is an independent study program offered through Lompoc. Hold on, let me move this thing. Yeah, okay, let's keep going up here. So it says Mission Valley is an independent study program offered through Lompoc Unified School District under California law. Students as young as transitional kindergarten are eligible to enroll in independent study programs. In our independent study program, if a student fails to pick up assignments, the student is referred back to their school of residence, which then contacts the family to complete enrollment. If the attendance does not begin, the school follows mandatory truancy procedures, including phone calls, letters, emails, and home visits. When a student or family cannot be reached after these efforts, the school requests a welfare check from law enforcement. We are doing everything within our authority to support this investigation, including providing records and coordinating with the sheriff's office. According to the sheriff's public update, Melodee's mother, Ashlee Buzzard, has not cooperated with the investigation. We are united in concern for Melodee and urge anyone with information to contact the Sheriff's Criminal Investigation Division. They give the same number we provided previously. So that's the statement, the official statement from the school district. So it sounds like they were very much aware of the situation going on. They realized that this child was not completing some work. We don't know for the amount of time they've kept that away from the public, so we know that there was some time. It didn't just happen the day that they left on the 7th. It sounds like There were some notes. It sounds like something happened to this child. And this child was unable to pick up assignments. And when the school started harping on where this child is, the mother rented a car and took a trip. It doesn't sound good. No matter how we look at it, it doesn't sound good. And even if the family didn't see this child for years, we had our hand on the pulse. We knew that this child was observed by staff at the school as early as August of 2025, which is just a few months ago. That's, going from 4 years to 1 year to August 2025, now to October 7th, 2025. That's good. Okay, because the larger area, the larger time span you have to find out what happened, the harder the case is, the more research and shoe leather investigation that needs to go into this. So they're finding out that this child was visibly seen in August by teachers or some type of staff. Okay? So now this right here that you're seeing is a picture of this baby. I'm assuming that this is her dad before he passed away from the motorcycle accident. So this is dad. This is Rubiel, I think is how you say it. Rubiel Mesa or Chino. That's her dad right there. And then he obviously lost his life. I'm assuming that this must be his mother. It looks like his mother. This looks like his brother. And so at least he got to see his daughter for the first time. And with this woman having mental problems, I've always, or at least here recently, had this gut feeling that, I watched this Amish woman. I don't know, I think we played this on our channel about a month ago. We know how Amish people are very, very religious. There's a very little mental illness in, the Amish people, or at least none that we really hear from. Like, we don't have a lot of problems out of our Amish communities throughout the United States. We just don't. And this lady ended up drowning her child. She said that she heard the voice of the Lord and he was the sacrifice to the Lord or something like that. She kind of went over the deep end. And she had older children. They were pulling her out of the river. She was talking to these officers. She sounded like she was, she had a mental break. She tried to do a couple of other children. It didn't work. So she got one of her children and he was still in the water when law enforcement got to her. They didn't realize what she had done until after she started talking all this riddle stuff and all this. And then they realized that there was a 9-year-old child that had been drowned in the water in the lake. But she lost her shit. Good woman that lost her stuff and drowned her kid. Not all her kids, just this particular child. So it makes me wonder, because she was trying to give this child to the Lord with this man being deceased, and her being mentally ill. Is it possible that she thought it would be better that she let her daughter go be with her dad? Is that why we're here? And it scares me because everything that this mother has done has been concerning, including her behavior with her daughter's sister. Saying, whatever was said out there, like, I can't remember what the aunt said that she said, where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Where were you then? Or something like that. I can't remember specifically. We just went over it. My brain doesn't work like that. I'll probably remember it tonight. Waking up. Hey, Mike, it's nice to see you. But either way, I've always wondered that. Is it possible? And it is. Oh, we already went over that. And then we went over the Lompoc stuff. I think that's it. I think that's what we got. I think that's what we got here for the show. So where is Melodee? Where is that beautiful baby? I don't know where she's at. I would love to help find her, at least advocate for her. Let me move her over here so you guys can see her face. Advocate for her, but in all fairness, We don't know where she's at. If you do, please reach out to law enforcement. Doesn't matter which law enforcement you reach out to. Just reach out to somebody, guys. You know? She's missing. Her name's Ashlee Buzzard. She could be in Nebraska somewhere. She could be anywhere. She could be in Colorado. Let's look at the states that it took us to. Let's see, where is she? Santa Barbara. Let's just look at this. Put her on the map. Santa Barbara County, California. There we go. And we're going to want directions to Nebraska. Okay. Switch those. Give me a second while it's thinking. Okay, it's 21 hours. And so it looks like she would have went through California, Los Angeles toward Las Vegas up into Utah, Utah over into Colorado, and Colorado up in Nebraska. So she could be in Las Vegas, she could be in Utah, she could be in Colorado, and she could be in Nebraska. She could also be in Kansas for all we know. Because under there we have Kansas, we have Nebraska, and then next to Nebraska is Iowa. She used to live in Iowa. Was she trying to head back to someplace in Iowa? Or did she meet somebody from Iowa to pick up her daughter? She lived in Iowa, folks. And it doesn't seem like Iowa is that far. It's the next state over. It's on the other side of Nebraska. So Nebraska is bordered with, on the west coast, is bordered with Wyoming at the top of the state, and Colorado kind of at the bottom of the state, all on the west side of it. And then on the east side of the state is Iowa. Above it is North Dakota. Below it is Kansas. But the reason why I'm focusing on Iowa is I find it awfully interesting that this lady spends all of her time in California, but there's only one address in her whole history that shows Iowa, and she happens to go to Nebraska, which is right next to the state of Iowa. Has law enforcement looked at her connections in Iowa? Who was she living at in Iowa? How long did she live in Iowa? What family members does she have in Iowa? I think it's awfully interesting that the direction she's going is going toward a state she used to live in. If she had family or friends in the state of Iowa that she needed somebody to come pick up her daughter, they may have decided to commute over to Nebraska to meet her to pick up her daughter. But with her behavior, it makes me feel like her daughter is gone and she unalived her daughter or neglected her daughter so bad, because we're dealing with that other 12, that little girl, what was her name? Mimi? How old was she? 12 years old? 3 years older than this young lady here, this young girl here. And her mom starved her to death. Admitted to starving her. A poor little baby going without food. Where, it just makes me wonder, where the hell are the schools in all of this? This is a good situation, because we went from this child not being seen in almost a year to this child being seen in August, and then last being seen in October, which is really, really good. It didn't have to be like this, but I think we're seeing right now, like, I'm pushing for homeschooling. I think children need to be homeschooled. But even me pushing for homeschooling and giving people the power to make their own decisions related to school. Well, hi, dear. You got picked up in the camera. Look at your little head. Look at your little apple head. Who is that down there in the corner? Who is that? Who is that? Oh, who is that? You know what she's telling me? She's letting me know it's that time. She's ready to go play ball. Are you ready to go play ball? She's ready to go play ball. All right, guys, it's that time. I need to go. Yeah, exactly. It's not that. It doesn't really matter. It's just the hate that they're teaching our children in school is becoming disgusting, right? They're teaching our children to hate themselves, to hate America, to hate authority, to hate their parents. And, who has time for that? That's the public education system. Oh, by the way, there's sex toys too. That's what they're being taught in the public education system. People don't want that. People want their children to be children. They want these crackpots to keep their mugs off their children. I definitely believe in homeschooling, 100%. But obviously, there needs to be some oversight. Needs to be some major oversight. I don't want to say, well, I shouldn't say major oversight, because in all fairness, this child was reported missing at the time this child seemingly went missing. So, you know, whatever they did do, it didn't save the problem. This child should have never been back in her mother's care. Her mother, everybody knows her mother was a mental basket case. Why is a mental basket case raising a child by themselves? That's my question. Not that because your parent has mental illness, they shouldn't raise their kid. I didn't say that. Without any oversight. It seems like she had no oversight from the county, from the courts. I think that parents that have mental illness should have all the rights as parents. I don't think, because there's so many medications out there that stabilize parents, I don't think that should be a reason why a child should be taken away from them. But I definitely think, depending on what type of mental illness you have, like say schizophrenia, that's a scary diagnosis. Okay? I would think that you would want to have a level of involvement until the child gets to a certain age. Then a child can self-report. You know what I'm saying? Because even children of parents with mental illness, they kind of step up to the plate and help their parents out with their mental illness, making sure they have their medication, taking care of their parents. Not that it's the responsibility of a child to take care of their parents, but when they get to a certain age, thank you, Tyler. When they do get to a certain age, they do try to, help in their parents. I've seen many kids, even kids that I went to school with, they were perfectly fine. They went to school, very smart kids, and they had mentally ill parents. And believe it or not, whether fair or unfair, they took care of their parents a lot of the times. They made sure that they made the food, that they made breakfast and dinner. They were at school for lunch, so but they would make their parent a sandwich if their parent stayed home or was on disability or something like that. So, good night, good timing, Nightbot. Oh, that's sweet. Right Move Broadcasting. Thank you guys. So that's kind of where we are with this. If you've seen Melodee, please reach out to law enforcement. Doesn't matter which law enforcement, guys. Like I said, the states. Here are the states that we're looking for. If you live in any of these states, and it looks like something along the rail, if you think they may have no matter what, check your footage. If you guys are in California going toward Las Vegas, okay, from Santa Barbara County going toward Vegas. Now they go through Las Vegas and into Utah. And then they cut over about halfway into Utah over toward Colorado, and then Colorado up into Nebraska. Now, there is a way that they could go up. It adds about another, 40 minutes to the trip, but it goes straight up to Utah, over in Wyoming, and then Wyoming into Nebraska. So we could incorporate Wyoming, the state of Wyoming. But Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, and Wyoming, this child might be in those states. So if you're from those states, if you're on that, just go to MapQuest or go to Google Maps and look in the trajectory that they're driving. And if you're in that path, check your cameras. Check your cameras from the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th. And see if you see you never know. You never know. Those cameras on those homes are important. That's pay dirt for cases like this. So please check your cases. Please check everything. Guys, I want to tell everybody that participated in Affirmations of a Badass, thank you for participating. Today was really fun. Thank you for listening to the cases of Kada Scott as well as Melodee. Right now, I am being an activist because I'm sick of political censoring. I found out through creator support that I am being politically censored. I'm being shadow banned because of my coverage on Charlie Kirk. It sounds like it only lasts for about 30 days, but we're going to get my stuff in the algorithm. Screw YouTube. I'm putting on just about every one of my cases, screw YouTube, right? I'm making sure that that's posted on my TikTok. I'm making sure that's posted on my X. I'm making sure that's posted when I start my lives. I really don't care at this point. They can only keep me shadow banned for so long. They can kiss my ass, and I'm going to keep saying that every single day. If they want to keep dragging the shadow banning out, they can keep doing whatever the hell they need to do. But at some point, I'm going to have enough of it, and I'm going to put together a freaking team, and we're going to start a class action lawsuit against YouTube. It's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. So I'm looking at possibilities, not just YouTube, all social media. It was a coordinated effort. I think they need to be brought up on RICO. But if they're going to keep screwing around with all these people, it's not just me. Craig Long's having problems with it. Even Justin on TikTok, which is now just in the nick of time, he's complaining about it. He almost got his entire 2-point-some million followers on his TikTok. He almost got his entire account banned for running unbiased reporting on Charlie Kirk. So this is it's not over yet. We thought it was over. We were getting really comfortable. But now, after Charlie Kirk's death, we do realize that our social media oligarchs are still just as liberal as they were before. They don't really care about anybody. They just care about control and greed, and that's what YouTube has done. So I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it every single day that I turn on. Screw YouTube and their political censoring of people. Quit violating the Constitution, you assholes. That's going to be my stance. It's going to be my stance when I come on my show. It's going to be my stance when I leave my show. Even after I'm off this this political censoring, I'm still going to keep talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm going to still keep talking about our beautiful president, Donald J. Trump, and YouTube and all these social media oligarchs are going to kiss my white-breaded ass. So God bless you. If you guys would like to support that, if you're not getting your notifications and you're on the replay crew, please unsubscribe and resubscribe to the channel and change your bell from whatever to all, so you never miss another Bullhorn Betty channel again. Because they have shadow banned, you're going to have to, if you're not getting my my notifications, you're going to have to force notification, because there's only so much that YouTube is going to be able to do to shut me up. And we're going to hit this on all platforms, and we're not going to stop until we start getting some class action lawsuits rolling out against these social medias. And trust me, I guarantee within 4 to 5 years, we're going to have several large lawsuits. You want to know how I know? Because I'm going to be fighting for them. And if I'm going to be fighting for them, it will happen. It's just a matter of time before it does. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, and more importantly, kind to one another, because I got to take Delilah out and play ball with her. All right. God bless you.